All right, welcome back to another episode of Panther Airsoft Folding Table Talk. This is episode 92. 92. 92.
92. We in
That's
the
a lot.
90s,
We're in the
baby.
90s, boys. All right.
Getting into
92
that
is a good
century.
year.
All right, so this is going to be Crossfire 2.0 Players After Action Report. This is going to be the perspective of players. We have a few guests here. We're going to start off with Jeff. Hello, Jeff. How you doing?
Hey, I'm doing good. How are you guys?
Welcome
right.
to the show.
Welcome to the show. And we have Tony here. Tony, how you doing?
Hello.
All right.
Pizza
And
Commander.
we're
Yes.
Pizza Commander. Yes, well, we'll be getting to know all your stories shortly here. We have a returning guest, Rainbow. Hello, Rainbow.
Howdy, howdy.
Thank you for coming on.
Hopefully you got your sword back. We'll be hearing more about that story. And then we have Steven here, also known as Radar or Katamari.
Cat mail?
Catmari in Discord, I believe.
Something like that.
Okay. And we're supposed to be receiving Henry here, but he is late. He was a latecomer, but he is
Vital to the storyline.
yes, he's
No,
vital to the story because we need to know how his name changed from Virus to
I need to know. We need to know.
we
the
need to know.
story.
We need to know. So if you guys just in the live text box, just add him. Just keep adding him until he shows up. Well, he'll join shortly here. But before we start, let's go through some basic introductions. We'll go off with the newcomers here. Jeff, how are you doing? And yeah, tell us a little bit about yourself, what you do. You know, I know you have a YouTube channel, and I know
Yes,
we
I
see you at
do.
the field a lot.
Please link
Yeah.
it below.
Yeah. Link
Just
it
so
below.
everyone, he is, guys, watch him. I love his 360 videos, and
Thank you.
yeah, like, yeah, Jeff, you've done good, man. You've done-
Yeah. Tell us a little
Yeah,
bit about
so-
yourself. Yeah.
My name is Jeff, as everyone said. I go by Rocks on YouTube, RWKS. I play Airsoft every week. I was at Crossfire with my crew, ISP. We're based out of the Fraser Valley, Abbotsford area. We were Platoon 3, Squad 3. So that's kind of our thing. Yeah, I'll post my stuff in the chat here, but yeah, that's me.
Okay. So your YouTube channel, do you just mainly film a lot of your games? Do you film with your team? What does ISP stand for? I hope it's not Internet Service Provider.
No, it's not. It actually stands for International Space Pimps. It's kind of an old thing from many years ago. Yeah.
Nice.
That's
always
good.
always good to know the acronyms, you know.
Yeah.
Bringing it back. Oh, man.
We don't really even go by that anymore. We just say ISP. That's kind of the thing.
Of course,
Okay.
no,
Yeah,
no one
it's,
needs to know.
Yeah, it's kind of funnier if it's unknown, but I guess the cat's a little bit back now. Yeah, so I film a lot of gameplays. Yeah, as you guys said already, I use a 360 camera. I post a lot of stuff on TikTok as well as I do reviews and all the kind of the things that you expect from an airsoft content
Yeah.
creator. So
That's good. I've
but
been following
it-
you since you showed up in the scene, and it's awesome to see other YouTubers out at the
yeah,
field
it's
too.
a lot of fun, and like that's the thing about YouTube is like even if like I don't really care about growth or anything, I just like putting this stuff out there and doing it, and anything that happens, right? So it's fun.
Okay, all right. And
Yeah.
as far as like when did you start doing the YouTube stuff?
I've been playing Airsoft since 2009 or so, give or take. Took a little bit of a hiatus to play Magic the Gathering, and then when I got back into it in like 2018, I was like, I'm in my 30s now. I've got money. I can get cameras and all the fun stuff, right? So that's
Lucky.
when I started.
I feel you, bro.
I know
yeah.
that feeling. I know that feeling.
So yeah, I started really doing the YouTube thing in like 2020 or so, and very recently, as I've been hitting the grind and doing the once a week content, like what you need to do to
Yeah.
progress. So
Yeah, just to be on that scheduled timeline sort of.
yeah, exactly.
Okay. I hope you watched that YouTube segment of our podcast when I had Dayton and as well as a Prairie
I
Dog.
did.
in.
Yeah, that was great. Yeah. So
Okay, perfect.
Yeah.
All right, well, great to have you on board, and we'll be listening to your story shortly. Is there anything else you wanna mention before I move on?
nope, no, I'm good. Yeah.
Okay, perfect. And our next guest here, first time comer, is Tony. I don't think you've been on our show before.
No, I don't think so.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, tell us a little bit about yourself, what you do for Airsoft, anything else we need to know, and as
okay,
well as
so-
your platoon.
Hi, I'm Tony. I go by Cat Airsoft at the field. I'm a member of Task Force Wolfpack. I mainly do management on the team. So I do all the background stuff. So sometimes you won't see me at the field. Mainly I'm working with businesses, getting all those things going in the background. And then I've been playing Airsoft for 8 years,
Okay.
which I am just 17.
Yeah. See, I'm guessing
I
because
was gonna say that doesn't make math.
yeah, I'm guessing your dad was a big influence on Airsoft. Because,
No.
no. Who
No.
was it? Just you?
So first time I played, so I known Airsoft for quite a while. I known Airsoft. I had Airsoft guns since 2014, 15, around 2015. I had Airsoft guns.
Oh, that was a
Back
good
when they can
year.
only shoot 50 feet.
Yeah.
No. 2015 was a great year.
It
Okay.
was so, and then my dad got into it way later.
Oh, okay.
But my first time at Panther was, let's see, was in 20, 2018 was when my first time at Panther. I was with a group of my friends, and then we were first time I was dumb enough. I wasn't even a rental at first, so I borrowed my friend's sniper rifle.
Okay.
Sniper rifle with the ghillie suit.
Oh, you're one of
humid
those
weather.
kids. All right. Was it summertime?
Average.
I started off. Yeah, it was summertime.
Of course. He's one of those kids we keep reminding why you wearing a
know.
ghillie suit.
I know.
I got with what influenced me mainly to play Airsoft was house gamers, as
Of
everyone
course.
knows.
That's good. Yeah.
And then so that went off, and then so my well, let's see, or I'm gonna say the story. So my first gun that I bought was in 1911.
Good choice.
Okay.
I traded that away for an STG 44 full metal with wood.
44.
Okay. Well, you definitely won in that.
Yeah.
Trade.
How'd
I
you manage
won
that?
that one. My friend really wanted that 1911, and just so you know, it was a KJ Dworks 1911.
Okay.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
then I got one of those. In that time, the condition was absolute horrible. Like there was all carvings on it. So I got one of my dads, who's a professional carpenter, to redo the carpentry on it. Now it looks amazing. Now it's just a wall hanger.
Nice.
So that's the SG 44 part. And then at that point, my dad joined. He figured out that I had an STG 44, so he joined because of an Airsoft trade that I made. And then he said, "Oh, you have this gun. I didn't even know you had this gun." So then that's when he joined. So then
My
my
kid has
dad,
something cool.
so then my dad ended up joining with us for Airsoft. And then sometimes if I'm not at the field, he's at the field. Sometimes if he's not at the field, I'm at the field. And then, but mainly like sometimes I would play with him, but now I have a team, so I mainly run with my team on mainly on Saturdays. So you'll see us mainly on Saturdays playing with them.
Oh, whoa. Are you telling me that you don't invite your dad to play anymore?
Oh no, my dad
man.
has work.
You tell your dad.
Oh,
You
man.
tell your dad to come play with us, okay? We're gonna hunt you down, you little.
This is when the handcuff zip ties come out, you know.
Oh Lord.
All right.
My dad has to work now. So
Okay. No,
Okay, that's fine.
understandable.
That's fine. All right.
And
No
that's
excuses.
That's good to know. And what was your for Crossfire? What was your platoon and
Crossfire,
squad?
this was actually one of my first Milsim events with my dad.
Okay.
My dad before he's been to other ones with his friends. So he's done Milsim West and all that.
Oh, nice.
With
Cool.
his friends. And then I did this. Then this was me and his first time at Crossfire.
Okay.
So
And,
like
Were
DC
you
wise.
two in the same squad and as well as
Yeah,
platoon?
we were playing in Platoon 2, Squad 3.
Red team.
So on red
Okay.
team with so we were a part of AAB, so Airsoft Battle Buddies, as well as Trigger. So we were the organizers the whole event.
Oh, okay. So you're
Oh,
Okay.
playing with Ken there.
playing
Okay.
with Ken.
Yeah.
Got it. All right. Okay, cool. Awesome story. Love to hear how you got started. I always wondered if your dad introduced you first or if it was you, but looks like it was the other way around. Okay. Good to know.
Interesting story.
All right, let me just pull in Henry here, aka Fires.
Oh, we got him.
Yeah, we finally got him. So this is probably the biggest Discord, or not Discord, like Zoom meeting I've ever had for this podcast. So
Oh
we'll
God,
see how this
I can't
goes.
handle it.
All right, hello Henry. We'll be introducing you shortly here, but oh, that is your channel. Yes, I will introduce that to folks. Okay, and next up we'll get Steven to introduce himself again. We've had you for a few episodes for the podcast before, so just brief introduction and what platoon or what team, platoon and squad were you on for the event? I believe you're the only blue in this chat.
Boo, blue.
That's all it takes is one blue to take these guys out.
All right, go ahead. Give us a little bit of intro.
Okay, my name's Steven, or Radar, and everyone knows me out at the field as the crazy radio guy. At Crossfire, I was on blue, and squad 3 on platoon 3. And it's mainly the Marauders, the old guys.
And how did the old guys do?
Yeah, how did they do?
Not too bad. I don't think we were given too difficult jobs to take care of.
Yeah, surprised David Blair didn't want to come on and explain to him how he got captured or was in a.
I believe he has a gag order on him right now, and he's not allowed to let out any secrets.
I think, he had it coming.
Yeah, but I'm sure we'll get more word of it if I talk to him personally at the field. I was kind of hoping he would come on, but all right. Well, thanks for the introduction, Steven, and we'll move on to Rainbow. Glad to have you back, and we heard stories about your sword that went missing.
Man,
and was found.
It was
it
found.
was found. My sword was
Your
found.
your
safe and
ultimate
sound.
power was given away to someone else. Now, how do you
Yeah.
feel being stripped of that?
Actually, it's an honor that power can find someone else for a day. But yeah,
I want to
did-
hear the story of how you lost it, but we'll get there.
Yeah, we'll get there.
Yeah.
Don't worry. Give us a
Yeah.
little bit of introduction, short introduction. We've met you before, and as well as your team, platoon, and squad.
Alrighty, well, hello everyone. My name's Rainbow. I was on Team Red. I was part of Platoon 2, Squad 2. Well, half of Squad 2. I ran Rainbow Squads as with another guy. I believe his name was Timothy. Ran the other side of our platoon, and we had an amazing time at Crossfire. Just running very differently than you think a normal platoon would run.
Okay.
And yeah, we ran a little differently in quotation marks. This was actually my second Crossfire event. I did attend the first one, and oh boy, they improved on a lot of things, and it was
It's good to hear.
there was a lot of action, a lot of shenanigans, and a lot more better planned, I want to say, or coordinated. It was very it was perfect. It was for my third Milsim experience. It was mint.
And who was your in terms of your platoon? Who was your platoon commander?
I think his name was Stefan.
Stefan.
I think. I don't know. That's the guy in my phone that I had to keep calling.
Oh, you had to call him instead of use the radio. What happened there?
Unfortunately, our radios weren't syncing up to each other. We programmed them correctly. It worked one time, a second time, and then it just cut out as soon as I crested over a few hills because me being me.
Terrain deformation does
Yeah,
get in the way.
terrain deformation didn't allow it. So he said, screw it, give me your phone number. And
Here, I'm gonna
I got-
call you and give you battle orders. Like,
exactly, yeah,
I'm gonna
precisely.
use the unencrypted line.
Over the 3 days, I probably called him about 94 times.
Okay. Hey,
That's
whatever
crazy.
works, right? Communications, communications.
It worked.
Yeah.
It worked. Yeah, he wanted pictures. He wanted videos of the opposing forces, and by golly, I got them for him. But so much data was used to send all these photos
I
and
was gonna
pictures.
say your phone bill. Oh.
I stayed underneath. I made sure not to use any of that weekend.
Okay, good. All right. Well, thank you for the introduction there, and we'll move on to Henry. Henry, if you can unmute yourself or turn on your camera, that'll be great too. Unless the kid's yelling in the
Yeah,
background.
sorry.
there.
No, it's a little echoey. I'm in the
Yeah, you're
car,
fine.
and I was actually just doing a dumpling run with our commander.
Ooh.
Wait, your commander's there too?
I was just at Julian's to pick up some dumplings and stuff.
Of course you were.
So you were part of the PMC then.
Yeah, PMC, small squad, or small platoon. So we only had squads. We didn't have platoons.
Okay.
I was in Bravo. Bravo had about 12 people, 10 people.
Okay.
We were like a whole platoon of like 35 max.
Oh wow.
So
All right.
pretty small.
Felt like there was way more than you.
Yeah, well, see, that's how good we are. So now you
Okay.
They just Naruto'd you right there, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, that's good to know.
Yeah,
Tell us a
lots
little bit
of
about
fun.
yourself, and yeah, just give us a short introduction. We haven't had you on a segment before. Oh, we have you on a segment before, but yeah, just give us a little bit of introduction.
Yeah, playing since November, gotten to know quite a few, been coming part of the community. It's all good. Gone into gas and never looked back. So yeah, pretty fun.
I love this
Got
guy.
drawn
Never
in.
look back.
I love this guy.
Oh man.
Man, how does it feel using
Right,
your
so-
gas for only one season?
No, he played.
Yeah, my
negative.
top floor of my house is all propane, and I think I'm about to get kicked out. But yeah, everything
Oh
smells,
dear.
but it's worth it.
But it's worth
it.
Yeah,
It's
no, that's
worth
pretty much it.
Yeah, no, we had you on the
Yeah, I'm about to.
we had you on the MWS segment, so we know you run MWS, and I believe
choice.
you bought yourself a VFC as well.
Yeah, just got a VFC BCM MCMR, and
But
it's
it's a
tuned up,
lemon, right?
and
You should
it's ready
sell
to
it to
go.
me.
Yeah, how'd that go?
I heard it's a lemon, dude. Factory lemon.
Well, wait till you get hit by it.
Yeah.
Oh,
Okay.
yeah, oh,
We'll
yeah.
Go from there.
Yeah.
Well, we'll see if it
Well, you're
even
on the
functions.
same team. Never mind.
I was gonna
Oh,
say, dude,
oh,
that would
wait.
be considered friendly fire.
Team kill, still a kill.
Yes, it
It's
is.
true. It's very
I just
true.
look at you from the ground.
All right, well, thanks for the
Yeah, all
introduction
good.
there. Thanks for the intro there.
Yeah, glad to be here.
Send our best regards to Julian if he's there.
No, he gave him
Yeah,
the dumplings.
he's ready to get back to the field for sure.
Okay. All right. So let's hear everybody's stories. We're gonna start off with some after action report. We're gonna start off with the day, and as well as the segment of that day. In this case, day one entrance. The event starts. So we heard that from the previous podcast that it started off with what is it like something along the lines of Red made a red, or was it blue? I think it was Red that made the big push at the very beginning.
An incursion into the DMZ.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes. So what we want to know is we kept asking your commanders, you know, who shot first. We want to know who shot first.
Was
UN
anyone
shot
there?
first.
Was
anyone there?
first?
UN shot first.
I was.
UN shot first.
Okay.
UN?
Okay.
Henry?
UN shot first.
Wait, UN shot. That's
I have my
that's
side of the
odd.
story. I was in the front line for this one.
I was on the building when it happened.
Oh,
Okay,
Henry,
this
can
is
you
why we're
verify?
here.
Can you verify that UN shot first?
Well, we had some stragglers wandering into our territory. We did warn them.
So who are
And,
these stragglers? Are they red or blue?
Unknown until we killed them. So Dennis actually was the first kill on our team.
Whoa.
He made the first kill. He did his correction officer voice to the person, and they failed to comply, and we shot him. It turned
I
out he
see.
was blue.
Okay, never mind. Not
And
the
he got
same.
lost.
Of course they did.
But we did ask. We did ask first, and we did the what is it? The fire control. No, what is
Yeah.
it?
Followed standard procedure.
Yeah, and they failed to comply, and we shot. So I don't think if that qualifies as we fired first.
Ah,
Oh, well then. Okay.
arguable.
CNN would like to discuss that.
Yeah.
Breaking news. All right. So,
Yeah,
all
there's
right.
some topics we can go about that.
So now that we've clarified that, I know your commanders were not sort of
They kept pointing the fingers.
They were briefed on what not to say. Let's say that. So let's just start off with people's stories on what happened at day one. Starting with that flashpoint right there of the UN supposedly stopping people wandering through their lines. So that's what we're gonna name it now. So let's just hear some stories of what happened from there on. If someone wants to start, that'd be great. Or who
Yeah,
was close
so-
to it.
Well, I can say so. 3-3. Our first job of the day was guard duty. So the first hour we were defending the DMV and our base, and we didn't see anything. But it's getting more exciting after that. So I'll let someone else.
Okay,
Yeah, we sat at the back and we made sure no one came, and it worked good. So
that is a good
Yeah.
answer. You must have been briefed
That's
by
a
your
solid
commander.
job, sir.
You
Solid
must have been
job.
briefed by your commander.
People
Yeah.
Loved
forget
us.
security all the
Yeah.
time. How do you think
Yeah.
Rainbow even gets melee kills?
People forget security.
So
That's right.
No, not just security, rear security.
Rear security.
I'll never
awareness.
forget that, Zongers.
Let you down.
All right,
Good night.
Tony, where were you? What were you doing? What was happening? From the first 0 hour of that happening.
0 hours, sub fob, from fob, tasked with recon at city. So we were sent with the task of doing some overwatch in city. Do not engage at any forces. Do not engage at UN.
Okay.
Okay, so there were clear orders given.
There were very clear orders. That's good. That's good. Again,
Do not engage. First time.
he was probably briefed by his commander. That's good.
We got there because I was with Ken, so we had vehicles.
Oh, okay.
So we drove on, went down. Let's see. Let's pull up a map.
That would have been good to have a map.
Yeah.
We were
You could tell I'm ill prepared.
Were you south of the map or north of the map?
towards the we set up at the back of the field, so on the south side.
Okay, so you weren't even at the front yet.
No, so we were tasked with taking over the city.
Taking
So-
over the city now.
Yeah, so we were going for Overwatch at the city, but at that point, we from our command, so my command, my leader, my platoon leader,
Who's your
the two
platoon
bit-
leader?
Ken.
Okay.
So he just said, so we actually drove all the way up to a UN checkpoint.
Okay.
UN wouldn't let us in.
Was there bribes that needed to
There
be
was
paid?
bribes. They asked for BBs.
BBs. Got it.
We paid almost half of our stacks, half of our bags just to get in.
Just to get in. And was
Just
it
to
just
get in
one
the area.
one person or just the entire squad?
3 people.
3 people.
They
Okay.
only
That's a lot
asked
of
for 3
BBs.
people to
That
get
is a lot
in.
of movies.
So what are you gonna do with
So-
3 people?
We could barely do anything. So at that point, what we were doing, because they wanted us, so we gave them the bribe. We got
Okay.
in,
You got it.
but we didn't know that we were actually going outside of the field.
Oh.
We were not going the right way to the city.
Oh,
The cities from that point would be east of us. But we were heading outside the field towards the west.
Oh,
So
so,
you bribed them to leave.
So we went
yeah,
the
so
wrong
just
way.
bribe them.
so did you guys go to like the chalet area then, or the?
Oh yeah,
the ski
That's
resort
where
is.
we were heading it. So then at that point we figured out, oh, we went the wrong way. So then once we were, so then 3 of our, so I was one of the 3. So once we got into that area, we figured out, oh, we're in the wrong area. At that point, they had another force from the back that engaged us.
This was blue.
This was our, no, this is actually one of our other recon squadrons.
So you got friendly fired upon.
No, we didn't get. They had to tell us. We had to tell our own squad to evacuate from that recon point,
Oh, okay.
or else we could have just taken that swap, like that whole area down. But at the same time, our guys, so my platoon 2 has gone fired upon. We had vehicles down, people down. It was just a mass shooting from that point on. And then that mass shooting was from city.
So UN fired upon you?
Yeah,
Mark?
that's what people were saying at that point. UN fired upon us.
All right.
Because
let's
and then-
verify this.
Oh,
Henry.
okay.
Henry,
Yeah, Henry.
verify this for
Can
us.
you corroborate these claims?
Can you yeah, can you clear up these claims of you guys firing at the red?
Open initial hostilities.
What time was this?
upon start.
On day 2?
Day
Day
one.
one.
Day 1? Yeah, we were out just patrolling. We were actually just setting up base and guarding. I don't recall us doing an intense
You guys
firefight.
had a checkpoint.
That was our hunting team.
Yeah, that team.
So
You shouldn't have taken on the hunters.
there were a team of like 7 or 8. So if you guys got wrecked by 7 or 8, I don't know what to say about that.
Oh. It's the other side.
All right, so we'll end it off there.
Well, I want to hear from Rainbow. Rainbow, you were
Yeah,
on the front
Rainbow,
line.
I
Tell
wanna-
me
I wanna hear-
about
yeah.
those first shots.
Okay, well, it all during game start when we all went to our different FOBs, we had Jeff stay behind and guard the rear just to keep our FOBs safe. And platoon 2, squad 2, or half of us went up with Stefan to go guard around Trail 67. If you have a map, Trail 67 ran all the way up the hill onto the top of the minefield that overlooked the city. From that trail, there's a trail that turned in and went around the actual Lake A, I believe it was. That's right there. We encountered UN soldiers just sitting there, just guarding that with their life. They would not let a single soul even put their foot on the gravel. So in hopes to get around them, we tried bribing. They would not take a bribe. We tried reasoning. They wouldn't take a reason. We even tried singing with them. They did not want
This was
anything
the
to do
UN,
with
I'm
us.
guessing.
Yes,
Try
this was the UN.
singing with them.
When you try to sing Kumbaya with people, they tend to cooperate.
Was this?
I
Was,
agree, I
were
agree.
you singing Kumbaya in the morning?
in the morning.
That is probably where you went wrong. I would probably shoot you for singing Kumbaya in the morning too.
I mean, I tried singing Country Roads as well. Didn't work.
Oh, dude.
Those are all
I-
nighttime campfire songs. You're doing it wrong.
Whatever. But we ended up distracting one of them, the one guy that was yelling at us. He was yelling at us very, very hard. He finally turned around after someone yelled at him to watch a specific person who was sneaking down through a swamp. Still don't know who that was. So we took that opportunity of him looking away to actually run across this 10-foot wide road. We couldn't get past a 10-foot wide road, so we literally just jumped. We just he wouldn't let us. He had his rifle aimed up at us, just yelling at us in his officer voice. As soon as he turned around, you saw like 4 or 5 of us just jump the gap. Okay, we're across. Stefan, my command or my platoon lead, decided to send me on a recon mission because I was running my SSG with the 12 times scope, so I can actually look and see people. I did my little mission to see if it's clear. It was. We kept going, and we finally hunkered down. We're like, this is where we're staying. This is a good space. If they find us here, they won't like it, but they will be scared on how close and half a squad is. So we stayed put for a while until darkness rolled around. In that time between staying put and darkness, he did send me on another recon mission with my second in command, Tomahawk John. Him and I went exploring, and we found a game trail used by deer or something low that led right up to the city within 100 feet along one of the lakes there.
You guys had perfect view of the city then?
We had perfect view and audibles. We can hear every single conversation coming out of that city. That's how close this trail ran.
You said you were using an SSG.
I was, yes, but I also had my.
Did you
high
shoot
tech-
that
my high tech.
SSG?
Eventually, yes.
So we heard rumors that, not rumors, we've heard that one of the shots came from a sniper. That's what the commanders were
Single
saying.
shot.
A single shot.
Shot heard
So
around
you've just
the
confirmed
world.
that you were there with an
Yeah.
SSG.
I was there with the sniper rifle. Yes,
Doing
So-
reconnaissance, you
Yes.
say.
it was reconnaissance.
So what
Not
you're
my fault that the guy
saying?
looked at me funny.
So what? Now you're shooting people based on looks. I
No.
would like to see your ROE, sir.
It's fine. It's fine. It's fine.
Mm.
But
Continue.
yeah, we found our way up into there. We're like, okay, this seems like a fun spot to kind of sit and gather more intel. So it starts to get darker. Me and Tomahawk decide to run back to our command. I first called him, telling him, "Hey, we're coming up the trail. Don't shoot us." So we finally catch up with them. I let them know the specifications of this area, what to do, what not to do, where to go, where not to go, where they're sitting, what we can hear. At this point, the trail that the UN was guarding is pitch black. You can't see anything. So we all said, screw it. We brought the rest of us over. So now there's, I want to say, about 10 or 12 guys with us now, all in one group. We made our way up the hill, and then as soon as we reached the crest, we dipped down to the right to actually go down the hill to find the trail that we found. And we got every single guy into that trench trail or the deer trail that we found, and we were just listening to the laughter, the planning, the heckling coming from the UN, just yelling at everybody. It was like, don't do this, don't do that. Hey, you come here, you do that. And I decided to have the bright idea. I want to hear them better, and I want to see how many people are there. So as soon as the spotlight shifted away to go look somewhere else, because there was a commotion, just a bunch of yelling and a vehicle. When the spotlight shifted, I ran over to the wall of the UN building and put my ear right up against it. And at that point, I'm pretty sure I heard Virus talking, and I think he was eating a craft dinner cup. I'm not entirely sure because we did talk after. A bunch of people were eating. There was laughing, and I was just sitting there, just waiting for an order to shoot to do something. My
Wait,
buddy,
you said shoot.
I did say shoot.
Agenda.
I was waiting.
We got him, boys.
I'm 6 foot tall. The wall is about 5'10". So I can easily just peer over, see how many people are there, get a rough number, and I'm signing to my command how many there are. It's pitch black. He can't really see. I'm assuming he saw the number 2 because he wanted to take out the 12 people that were in there. He's like, I don't want them in there. We should get them out. There's 12 of them. Not 2, not 2, there's 12. He only saw 2 because the next thing I know, I heard over my radio in my earpiece, on 3, we shoot.
Ooh.
Yeah. So 3, 2, 1. I hear the echo of a GBB echoing, just passing over my head into the actual camp. I was like, oh my God, there's no way they just did that with me right here. Like, with me on the wall. I look back to where it's coming from. They're all secluded, hiding over the hill. So you have the city and you have the hill, and they're hiding on the other side where the game trail is. All 12 of them. I'm scared. I'm terrified. I pull my pistol, and I'm just sitting, hoping no one comes around this corner. All of a sudden, I feel a tap on my shoulder. It's my second in command, Tomahawk. He saw that I was scared. He came up next to me, and now we're both on the wall, and we are terrified. The shots keep ringing out. The UN is just trying to find where these shots are coming from. And they finally figure out where they all are, and they just start hammering them. That hill was lit up with so many BBs. And when I finally composed myself on what just happened, I said, screw it. I take my pistol. John takes his pistol. And eventually another dude came up. Still don't know his name. And we just start hammering people on the other side of that wall. Problem is, our guns aren't the most quiet. So they eventually found us and started coming outside the camp. We noticed that the camp had multiple entrances. One was covered in darkness, but had a bunch of guns pointed towards it. The other one had a bunch of lights pointing towards it. So if you were to come in through the lights, your shadow would be 100 feet tall on the trees behind. They know you're there. A guy finally comes out, or a UN guy finally comes out, and we know he's there. I prepare myself. I'm aiming. I see his hand come around the corner, and I fire. Of course, my magazine jammed on me of my high kappa and did not light off 5 different shots.
So you had a high kappa jam on you?
A high kappa magazine jam on me.
Ouch.
1 in a million. So he takes me out, he takes John out, and he takes the other dude out. It's like, oh my god, if my
Ouch.
pistol did not jam on me, I would have had your wedding band off your finger.
So I want to hear Henry's side of things now on what actually happened there. So what happened on your side there, Henry, from their encounter?
So I wasn't eating because I didn't bring food.
Okay.
But it started a commotion. We started figuring out our perimeter was breached. So our searchlights started going quite frantic, looking for the source. So I was tasked on that wall. So disclaimer, I'm Squad Bravo. We're tasked with security and perimeter and support missions. So I was tasked on the wall with most lights. So we started searching, and there was the hill. And then we acknowledged, all right, let's clear the perimeter. So around the corner, I think, Rainbow, if you recall, there was a generator there, right?
There was a generator, yes.
Yeah, so I was the first person to round that corner for 3 or 4 shots, and then I didn't feel anything.
Yeah,
so
that's my high kappa.
And then I got 2 of your buddies before the last one got me, but my I forgot, was it Chris was behind me? He went around the corner, took up the last one.
Yeah,
and
the last guy. Yeah.
There, it was basically a beehive. So it was a commotion. I'll acknowledge that, but
we tried attacking a beehive, but unfortunately, the UN had far more
It wasn't a
firepower
beehive,
than
it was
we
a
did.
hornet's nest, dude.
Hornet's nest. I got a little too close. They took out us 3, and then it was just a matter of time until they just slowly pinked off every person hiding in that game trail.
Ouch.
Yeah.
Thankfully, we had all the large lights, so it was like a straight up beam everywhere. Once we located something, we basically took it out, and we had Chuck and another PKM on the scaffolding. So they were just basically running everybody.
They were flooding everybody out of that game trail.
Exact reason why you should run LMG at every game now.
Okay, so now we know that Red, your squad, their Rainbow, shot first at the UN for that initial incursion. Then there was it was a communication mistake, though, right, Rainbow? I'm giving you a benefit of a doubt here. They saw 2 fingers. They saw 2 fingers.
12. I did do this to signify 12. Like, dude, look at me, please. Not 2, 12.
This will be easy.
All of a sudden, 3, 2, 1, crack. I was like, no.
And this is why when you're doing hand signals, always go by 10, not like single ones. Like this is
I am inexperienced.
2, this is 20, this is 10. 30.
It's the other thing that takes practice to learn. If you've never done it before,
it's things you need to establish beforehand. But it takes practice. Exactly.
Yeah. So let's switch gears here. Steven, you're on the blue side. Let's hear stories of what you heard. I know you're on the radio. What was the radio chatter from all this commotion that was happening?
I gotta tell you, radio sucked. We did get good comms, but from the only team that had action.
Okay.
So your team.
Kind of what happened was 2 of our platoons were left basically on sentry duty. They didn't see any action that night at all. 1 platoon was left to negotiate with UN on the west side, and our platoon was tasked with looking after Hill 606 and guarding Craig. So that left Joel's platoon.
Go ahead, sorry.
Yeah. So that left Joel's platoon to basically get all the action. And our recon guy, which was Brooke. So they're the ones that saw all the actions on Friday night. But what the radio chatter was basically a blow-by-blow, listening to Joel shriek like a little girl over the radio. So we couldn't actually hear anything other than what was happening with him and his team.
Okay.
So we actually didn't see any action ourselves until about 9:30 that night. And by then, Joel's team was basically destroyed.
Yeah, so I've read a little bit of his action report from when he posted it a month ago. Yeah, so he did get most of the action from first platoons. He was part of first platoon, and he was second in command, I believe.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he was in charge of dealing with that. So, from the red team, was there an encounter with blue at that time at the field? Anyone from here?
Yeah, I can go into some more details about what my squad went through.
Yeah, go ahead.
After our guard duty. So can I share my screen? I've got some pictures and I can point out stuff on the.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
Oh, it says you disable participant screen sharing. That's okay. So we spent a good hour or so at our FOB, which was down in. I have my map here.
Yeah.
Which was down on road 65, section 5L. So we spent about an hour there, and then by the time we got orders to move, we packed up and head down the road up to the center of the map where the ponds are. There's one pond that's right beside the edge. We met up with our commander there, and then moved along the outside wall. I don't know how much blue you guys moved along the outside wall, like the far wall, but we were back and forth along there quite a bit. We were never really contested there.
Yeah, that would be Joel's team because he said he headed east towards the ruins.
Yeah. So yeah, we were never really contested there. We moved up to support people or teams that had been eliminated, and got to a few good fights during dusk around that time. We assume that's again, I guess, Joel's team. I'm not specific on who Joel is, but yeah. So we got some good fights there. There was one point that really stands out to me that was super fun, where one of our guys goes down and some enemies go down, and everyone's just kind of like, "Well, should we rescue our guys? Should we let them bleed out and then go?" And then I just like, "Hey, whatever." Threw the first smoke grenade, and then after I threw the first smoke grenade, it was kind of like a cascading effect where everyone just went ballistic, and suddenly there's 30 smokes going off. And it was just
That's why.
It's like, can your buddy even breathe anymore?
So that's why at that point there were a bunch of smoke right behind me.
Yeah, it was crazy. So there was smoke grenades going off left, right, and center, and then that happened during while dusk was falling, and then by the time we regrouped, we didn't end up losing anybody. We ended up rescuing all of our teammates. Some people had to get medics at that point, but at that point it turned to dark, and we know that some people on our team left for the night, but we stuck around. A few of our guys have nods, so we kind of mobbed and had some good engagements. I know Sharp was saying that they left some guys to defend. It was section on road 22, 12H, I guess. There was the ruins there, right? I believe is what they called them, like those where the rocket was set up last year, in Crossfire 2019. And we ambushed whoever was there. We ended their night. They didn't survive. Like, so basically everyone who died there on blue team was like, "Okay, we're done for the night." It was pretty
basically So basically, we were being pushed towards when it started getting dark. A few of our platoon moved down the hill to that direction to see what was happening, and Red was pushing towards Hill 606.
Yeah.
And they were super organized. Like, I was really impressed with their commander because they were like giving orders, like concentrating fire. And it was like decimating individual players.
The one thing to note about us, at least our platoon. So I was in red team, right? On platoon 3.
Who was your platoon commander?
His name was Scott. He was a little older. He had like longish hair.
Not the Scott that we know from Omega, right? Someone else.
No. I think him and his guys were from Alberta. They were all wearing like gray.
The gray guys.
Oh, the gray guys.
With like,
yeah.
So one of their guys was our commander, and so we made sure that none of our radio chatter. So me, I was squad lead for my group, which was ISP and one of our other teams that we practiced with all the time. I was a squad lead for our kind of combined team, and our platoon chat, like our radio chat, was that we made sure that there was no squad members in our platoon radio chat. We all had everyone in our squad was running either two radios or just a radio for the squad. Same with people on those other ones. So I never talked on my main radio to my squad. I only talked with platoon, and our radio communication was great. There was no interruptions, and aside from saying at night when we were 2 kilometers away, and the mountains were blocking our bow fangs, we had good communication the whole time, and that was one thing that we were really happy with. So our 3rd platoon was ran very well and organized very well, and it paid off.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we felt like we were being pushed back towards the hill again. So we reported that we were seeing a lot, that they were about to be overrunning our hill. So at that point, Craig made the decision to move everything back to where our starting point was. So a bunch of people with nods stayed behind and held the whole hill.
Okay.
And the rest of us were to move back to the starting point. But by the time we withdrew, there was no sign of Craig. And the CCEU,
Oh no.
it was all gone.
So he,
And radio silence. Absolutely nothing.
but he moved it and didn't tell you guys.
Didn't tell us where he was going.
Oh, no.
Told us nothing.
You were expendable assets.
I'm going.
So I ended up walking from Hill 606 all the way to the northern side of the property looking for him,
Oh,
That's a
to where the
long
old
walk,
blue
my
base
guy.
was.
Holy.
and back again. And by then I was like exhausted, and it
Yeah,
was
that's a
starting to
long
get
walk.
really cold. And my iPro started fogging up, and I thought at that point, like, I'm done. I can't see
Yeah.
anything. It's
So-
dark.
I can't do it.
yeah. Joel did mention that the CCP was missing or gone. It wasn't. It didn't reappear until dusk. And yeah,
They
he
were
was.
supposed to have a mobile one, and they
Yeah,
didn't.
and he was running out of ammo. He was running out of troops to be filled in. So at that point, he basically, most of them called it a night at around 23:30 at night. So makes sense because the admin said at around night is when they ended it, and then I believe he tasked Brooke with that 15-minute mission.
Warning.
15-minute mission to get to one side of the map to the other, and they did for somehow by running at night in nods, and then they did that task. So overall, let's just end this the first day. Overall,
Okay,
See-
hold on. Let me finish.
oh yeah,
it.
yeah, go ahead.
Okay, so what happened is the guys with the nods actually held the hill.
Like Brooks'
So,
team or
No, they were not Brooks' team,
okay,
which was really cool. There's only like 3 or 4 of them, and I was only running an Aurora, and one of them had a flood IR light,
Yeah.
and I just loved it.
oh, you can see everything.
Now the problem was the UN was right across from us in their city, and their lights were shining and skylighting us.
Mm,
So I think if we were pushed anymore, Red would have taken that hill.
okay.
Yeah, we were too busy destroying all your other assets to bother with that place. So.
My squad as well as so platoon 1 and platoon 2, we were actually pushed back all the way back to 808. So we were pushed back all the way to 80.
What time was this? Was this
This was during around 8:30 to 9:30.
okay? So it's still like this is when Blue was pushing, like Joel's team was pushing hard on you guys, I believe.
Oh yeah. So
Okay.
we were tasked to secure area and to stay there because we were trying to push at that point. But that's pretty much one of the first firefights of the day. So during that time I was running radios. I was running radios with command. So I was on command chat and I was on my squad one. So my squad, we were at that point, we had to push up, which we did around 9 o'clock when we heard admin driving by. So we sent one of our smaller squads up. And so then we pushed out a bit, but that's when we reached another engagement, second engagement, 2 engagements at that same time. After the second firefight, we tried to push up again. That's when we heard another vehicle coming in, and that we would know that was actually another admin vehicle. So we had 2 admins cross by our area at the same time. So we did engage them, ended up taking out both vehicles, and then eventually we still didn't push up because we were still surrounded. We were still pretty much fucked at that point because they had us kept at that position. So we were holding 65, Road 65 that entire day, entire night. So pretty much until dusk.
Okay. So by the time it got really dark, did it start winding down for a lot of you guys in terms of fighting?
Half of our, we had a couple of engagements there at that time, but funny thing is I was working with command at that time, and then at the same time, so we had Justin on command. So the Justin as in Justin Kirkwood.
Yeah.
So he said that he was coming down to our point.
Is that when he had to negotiate with the UN crew?
That's after, right after.
Right after.
After negotiation with UN.
Okay.
So we were still holding that same point. He said, keep on holding it until he arrives. It took him 3 hours to get to that.
It's a long walk, man. It's a long walk.
And that is because our radios were messed up.
Okay.
So command chat was completely extraordinary.
Let me ask Henry. Were you able to see Justin come down to the UN and do some sort of negotiation? If I recall correctly, he was able to go down there, but every time he got down there, he got shot or something.
So I think that was after or around the time that Rainbow was executing his endeavors. So after that, we were kind of hostile, not hostile, but more alert. How
More
Red
standoffish,
was operating.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, he didn't really get the friendly on high alert, and
the friendly
Red
treatment.
was in touch.
Okay, so you shot the commander then. Is that what you're saying? Or
Really
UN?
multiple times.
Perhaps.
Allegedly.
I will
Allegedly.
neither confirm nor, but probably, yeah. Yeah.
Good answer. All right. Okay, so that ends off the first day basically for you guys. Pretty exciting time. From the gist of it, from all the after action reports I've read, and as well as your accounts, I'm seeing that Red started off the game very strong, very sort of pushy. You guys, yeah, aggressive. You guys technically held the town a little bit. Is that correct? Or was it still a standoff? Because I know Blue did it.
Until they got betrayed.
We didn't even get to town.
Yeah,
we get
no.
to town.
My understanding was that Red never really had the town walls during the weekend.
Okay.
Not at all.
The one time that we did, we had to leave because the circumstances got under control with the horses coming through.
Oh,
Right,
okay.
so
I'll
we-
get to
we
that
have to-
part later.
Yeah, we'll get there later though. So, but I don't think there was really ever a point where we were in the town very much.
Yeah,
except for-
because if it's Blue Team that held it the most, and that's Craig Wisdom's command, I know he had a lot of dealings, and with his charm and as well as charisma, he was able to swindle.
Is that what that's called?
Yes, he was able to swindle the UN group to work with them. Now, Henry, is this true? Was he spotted at the UN base most of the time, or was there dealings with him, or what was sort of the deals that you have with Blue?
How much they pay you?
Yeah, how much did they pay you?
In the first night, due to the sourness of the relationship of what Red had presented itself, Blue, from our perspective, took that opportunity to kind of charm their way into our good graces. So Craig was spotted from the west side on that road there with the gate. And yeah, no, talks started and they were maintained. So yeah, Blue did well in the negotiation side. Yeah.
Pays not to shoot.
I do want to add.
Yeah.
There was another aspect throughout the night, deeper into the night, around 10:30, 11. We did come across after Rainbow's hostilities. We did find, I think, a platoon is 30, or we found about 30 to 60 people trying to cross into our territory to go up the hill to go home from the north.
That's us.
East side, right? And yeah, we were still on a standing alert position, and I think at that time our commander Malcolm was quite agitated and a little ticked off with what happened. So we kept yelling to stop, let us ask questions, but the people in the back started moving. So unfortunately, we did fire warning shots, but that was perceived as actual shots, and then we proceeded to massacre about 60 people. That was the first night, but so that stems into the future dialogue of how we got our BBs.
So you can confirm that PMC massacred
I'll just
a bunch
I'll
of
just say that now. That's
red.
how we've. It seems like we
Under
have never
UN
ending supply of
flag.
BBs, but
Under the UN flag, the PMC massacred a bunch of red.
well,
Sounds
rules
about right.
engagement.
Oh yeah.
Rules.
Okay.
Like at that point, that's why the second day
They failed
we
to
were,
comply.
yeah, no, that's why the second day we were
Rules of
tasked.
engagement.
No, so that's why a second day we were tasked with just engaging UN and then just ignoring green, like just ignoring blue for the day.
So I guess the point that segments for you into the day 2 or whatever, or which other topic you have to cover.
Yep.
Still can't believe he called the shot. Oh my god.
Okay, so yeah, now that we got a gist of what happened at this night, it's good to hear everybody's story. Now let's move on to the next day, where
Well, wait, 1 second. So that was day 1, correct?
That was day 1.
Okay.
that was day
Is
one.
there anyone here that has a story from day 1 that they didn't share that they would like to share? Just before we move past day 1, a highlight, a moment, something, anything.
I just want to double down. Like, I wish you guys could see like how hard we ambushed those guys, like the blue defenders at that ruins. Like, I really want to say like it was so one-sided. It was awesome. Like, we destroyed them, and it felt so good because we've been practicing for doing exactly that leading up to this event, and be able to execute the plan was just like the sickest shit.
Awesome. Yeah. Especially at a nighttime, right?
Yeah,
Working with coordination under nods and just, different bodies working around and stuff like that. I know how tough that can be. And it's super satisfying when it goes off like well.
Yeah, it was great.
That's good. Yeah, that's, grab yourself like a Aurora and then, attach it to your helmet cam or something so that you can see it at night, because recordings like that are pretty precious.
I know, right? That's the thing. But then you really got to work on your neck muscles. So.
Oh, dude, that's already heavy enough. Yeah, not one PVS 14 is heavy enough. You add another one, and counterweights are not going to help you.
No, not at all.
Okay, so that's good. Now that we got day 1 out of the way, let's start off with day 2. I'm guessing this starts at 9 a.m. and then this goes all the way up to 4 p.m. or 3 p.m. somewhere around there.
Oh, this is the fun one.
Yes, so this is
the full crap one.
Yeah, this is the beefy sort of from the commanders and admins perspective. This was the beefy end of the story. This is where everybody kind of does their like this is where the event sort of took even higher. So I'm guessing none of any one of you did the helicopter. I didn't. Steven, did you do the helicopter? Yes, you did.
Yep.
Okay, so that went well, I'm guessing.
I heard this.
Not really.
Not really.
It was good. It was fun, and I think we got pretty far, but we were eventually taken out by red.
Oh.
But none. If I do remember correctly, you guys were spotted by something else, weren't you?
We were spotted by you
No,
Remember we took you guys out?
not us, not actual players. Someone on a certain.
Oh yes,
Oh,
that's true. Yes.
the
That
horsewoman
was
thing.
helicopter
The
2.
horsewoman.
The horsewoman.
Okay, so helicopter 1 made it. So the guys in blue on helicopter 1 made it. So they made it to the city from the LZ.
Yeah.
But Red was looking for the team 2.
Oh.
So what happened was when we landed in our LZ, there was a lady with her horses and that there, and she got really irate and just absolutely
Just ticked
yelled and
off.
screamed at us. We had to call in admin to calm her down.
She got Karen.
So your OPSEC was basically like stopped by a lady on a horse.
That
Got
was oh my god.
She
Yeah,
she reported
and-
it in.
When I heard about
Yeah,
that,
I think
the
it was partly
funniest
our
thing.
fault because when we got off of the helicopter,
Yeah.
we just grabbed our stuff and headed for the nearest bush or the nearest cover.
Yeah.
And it was the exact opposite direction from where people were pointing.
Okay.
So we just got our stuff ready and then we headed in the right direction. But by then she was already irate and screaming at us.
Mm.
So we didn't follow the path that they kind of wanted us to. So we didn't actually follow a path. We sort of went cross country.
So what was your objective when you inserted by Hilo? Was it just to go to?
We were supposed to go to this city and extract the scientists.
Got it. Okay.
But so we made it quite far, and then we started noticing that we were being trailed by a team behind us. And apparently, I found out later it was a recon team that was made up of trigger people. They never really came in contact with us, but we did see them. And as we moved north, we kept on running into red players. And the first players we ran into were Rainbow and his guys walking back to spawn, but we didn't realize that. So we just lit them up.
Yeah, I do want to add to this. We were all dead with our dead rags on our heads.
No, there were no dead rags on your heads.
There
but they
were
were
allegedly.
There was.
Allegedly.
I had mine on my head. My buddy had his. We had shoulders popping out. Like we were all just
they had red
talking.
armbands.
You know what? You guys are the Rainbow Squad. I don't know what those are.
Hey. But yeah.
So we kind of lit them up because the night before there were guys wearing red armbands to identify themselves. So we couldn't tell whether they were dead or whether they were just identifiers.
Okay.
That's a good answer, I guess.
Good. In his defense, you know.
In his
So
defense,
I mean, you're not going to ask; you're just going to shoot.
And say
I
sorry.
mean,
Did they apologize, Rainbow?
Kinda.
heckled us.
I think it was more like we got to get the hell out of here because we're being followed, and these guys are going to tell them where we are.
We
Yes.
didn't. We were just like, oh, what the heck just happened, man? And we just started heckling them.
So there was actually a group that was right behind you that was alive.
Yeah. We did
And
find them, but we didn't talk to them. They were too busy.
and we took them all out.
Yeah.
And we almost reached the lake where the teepee was when we were finally pushed ahead of us. So they managed to take us all out.
Yeah. That was one heck of an encounter.
Okay.
So it was really kind of cool because I think the recce squad that was following us, was trying to take us out, was following a trail of red team bodies.
It was
Yeah, we later that day my squad, Rainbow Squad, ended up finding our reconnaissance squad, which isn't supposed to happen. You're not supposed to find them. They're supposed to find you. But we found them, had a chat, and they told us like what they were doing. They said that
you had to revive them, I'm guessing, as you went along.
No, this was like a couple hours after.
Oh, okay.
So it was really fun because we were more concerned with moving forward than we were getting into fights. Yeah. So every time we felt that we saw someone or they saw us, it just stressed us out about we got to keep on moving.
Yeah, and I'll tell you, they made it pretty dang far.
Okay, so that's from the helicopter part. So let's hear everybody else's story who didn't take the helicopter. So where were you guys at the very beginning? If someone wants to jump in, yeah.
So during the helicopter thing, before the helicopters were even landing.
Yep.
I want to say, yeah, somewhere around when the game officially started, my squad and I, just Rainbow Squad, Stefan and the rest of them went down to take over that TP. I think, I don't know, he didn't really tell me anything. He just told me to hold this hill. So we held the hill that's overlooking city. Well, tried to at least. We found our way on one side of the teepee, or on one side of the lake near the game trail that we took. And UN and Blue were both shooting at somebody, that's some red, I'm assuming. That was just high. They were just scattered throughout. I swear there was like 30 of them, because this fight went on for a while. Just BBs flying back and forth, yelling, smokes, everything. But we're just sitting there, just watching the chaos happen, because we cannot tell what is going on. I'm trying to call Stefan. I'm trying to radio Stefan. I'm not getting anything. So there's a total of 4 of us. There's myself, there's my second, Johnny, third, Bubba, and then a buddy of his, Eddie. We're all just hunkered down in the shadows, in the trees, just sitting there enjoying the view of the lake, listening to people get hit. We hear sticks and stuff and talking behind us. I'm too scared to turn my body fully to look, so I just kind of do like one of these side-eye things. And I see the green patch that for Team Blue. We then realize, oh no, we're about to get surrounded, aren't we? So I tell my squad, okay, everybody take 10 steps forward, get inside this forest, get more shadowed, just hide. So we all just kind of hunker down, just look at the pretty lake, just kind of keep our guns forward, away from the guys behind us. There's 2 snipers, and then one guy on radio that's telling us what to do, trying to figure out. They never checked what team we were. They assumed because we were in front of them, facing the way that they're going, that we were them, that we were Blue. They didn't bother challenging us with a challenge word. They didn't bother saying, hey, what team are you? They just started giving orders. Like, hey, they want us down here. Okay. And then we just continued watching. Finally, one of the snipers, I forgot his name, but him and I, oh God. I had Bubs about 10 feet slightly uphill to me, or not even 10 feet, like 7 feet, like within touching distance. And then I'm sitting here just watching, and all of a sudden this dude walks right in between us. He gets right beside me and starts talking to me. So what do you see? I'm like, there's no way this is about to happen. There's no way. He's like, you know, nothing much. And as I'm talking, I slowly reach for my karambit that's on my side. And that's when I draw my karambit and I get him. I stab him. I was like, melee kill. He's like, he looks at me like, no way. And I quickly whip around and hide behind him, like, shh. You can't talk. You can't talk. I melee killed you. And just to make sure, I LARPed it. I like put it up to his neck. It's like, you cannot talk. Your throat is now slit. Do I have consent to search you? Because my immediate thing was like, these guys have something that we don't know, and I need them. His 2 other buddies are still up on the hill. His 2 friends are still there.
Oh, he can't even warn them.
He can't. So I'm sitting there with my knife still in his chest. Like, do you have anything that I can take? Like BBs, intel? He's like, I got some BBs. He unzips his front pouch, gives me the BBs. I put them in my front pouch. By that time, these guys start to realize what's up. I was like, I can see it in there. I can see it in their eyes, their body motion, like what they're doing, what they're trying to do. They're trying to triangulate all 4 of us into one shot. So I grab my high kappa and my buddy's MK23 that he threw up to me because he kind of fell down a hill into the lake, but don't talk about him. And I just start lighting. They don't know where the shot's coming from because I'm using a silenced pistol. Finally, shots start ringing out. Everyone gets hit. My 3 buddies are dead. They're yelling medic. They're waiting for me to res them. Problem is, there's an unknown, at least 2 unknown people up there. I hear a very, very familiar voice. My buddy Dan, he's part of our team as well. Trainwreck went up there in 2 different squads, one on blue, one on red. We found Trainwreck squad. I hear the voice. I was like, oh, there's no way this is about to happen again. I finally say, okay, everybody, the jig is up. I know I'm outgunned. I know I'm outbeat. Can I barter my life? Dan, I challenge you to a duel. And he's like, no way. Rainbow, get up here. We're dueling now. So strip down, grab my knife, walk out. I finally see the rest of Trainwreck and everything. And we had a duel next to the minefield in view of everybody. A good old-fashioned knife fight. Unfortunately, I drew. It was a draw, so we both died. Unfortunately, I had no one to res me, and they had a whole squad to res. So they res the guy that I dueled, Dan, and then they res the guy that I melee killed. I want to say his name was Justin. So Justin walks up to me and says, "Hey, can I have those BBs back?" I unzip my pouch. I take out the BBs, like, here. And then
full circle.
We had a nice little picture, and handshakes and nice seeing you, blah blah blah. And then that's when we all walked away as a big dead squad, walking away, and that's when the helicopter guys found us and lit the dead guys up. So that was a fun little beginning to a morning. Got my melee kill, and also got killed through a duel.
Hey,
had to give away the BBs that I took.
That was an epic kill, though.
It was an epic kill. I am so happy that it happened.
All right. And for Jeff, what was your morning like from the very beginning, and then up to that point where the helicopters came in?
So we were kind of like the bruiser squad, I guess. Like our command just like told us to do stuff, and we like held positions, and we didn't do a lot of running about. We definitely did a lot of sitting in place and making sure nothing happened. So that's what we did. We started off in the middle of the lakes, because there's the Lake A by the two Lake D by the two structures. E was in the back by the wall, and then there's the line A, B, and C, right? So for the morning, we sat between, there's a land bridge between B and C, and we held that position for maybe like 2 hours or so. We spent a lot of time fighting the UN technicals in that area. Some of the guys from Myrmidon were also in that area as well. And because it was basically like, if you continued up the road, you got to the town. And so blue was on one side of the lakes, and we were on the other side. And so it was just a pitched fight between that, like lots of fun engagements. People tried pushing unsuccessfully, vice versa. And yeah, then the UN would send vehicles down, and there wasn't really much we could do in terms of negotiating with them at this point. So we were just fighting them, and we had fun. Yeah, we got to sit there, we got to shoot a lot. Our commander was in and out of the area a lot, so there was lots of communication with him. And yeah, we basically sat there bouncing back and forth between those lakes. There's one point where we were pinned down behind the lake, right after the helicopters, pinned down on the hill line, like the ravine going down to Lake E, for a good 30 minutes or so, before our whole team regrouped and pushed them off. And yeah, it was crazy. We sat there for so long, just like fighting and like taking pot shots and like throwing smokes, and yeah, had a good time.
Okay, so it wasn't nothing too big then.
No, nothing cool and sneaky or whatever, but it was just like, we shot BBs and we had a blast. So
okay.
At Airsoft at its core, I guess. So
yeah. It's honestly a great time.
That's good, yeah.
And the fact that you were with your friends, right?
Yeah.
What about you, Tony? I saw from what I heard, you saw Blue Team's helicopter landed, you said. So what were you doing before that?
Blue Teams. Oh, so that was earlier. We were tasked with in the morning. So in the morning around 8, I was talking with Justin, and then he said we'll be then one of the gray shirt guys. So at that time, those guys were in control, and they said at that time we needed to just at that point, we were tasked with to take over city.
Okay.
So we were tasked with if you see UN, kill them.
Whoa.
So yeah, at that point it
that's
was
some pretty harsh war crimes. You know that, right?
Just take that. And
You
then
know what you just
so-
said, right?
Yeah.
Those
At
are some
that
pretty harsh
point,
war crimes.
So then we moved up and we all right, so then we got to the lake at that point. We pushed up to the lake. So then at the lake, that's when fire engagement started. So we had three of our platoons was there as well as our command. So pretty much the whole half of our red team platoons 1 and 2 that were all in that area. So we were tasked with just take down UN, but then at that point we had a massive firefight.
Was Ken awake at that point?
No, Ken. For a funny situation with him was Ken was sleeping in the whole day. When he woke up, it was already by the end of the day near nighttime. So it was around 8 o'clock. No, he came in the afternoon, but then he started chilling out. So he came out around near 7:30.
What a commander.
Yeah, that's Ken.
He just forgot it was a Milsim, you know. Oh shit.
Like we tried to get him up at we went into his cabin to get him up.
Oh yeah, he has a cabin.
So we went 8:30 and then
Okay, so
we got people pushing him to get up.
That's around evening time. That's the next game.
Yeah,
Right? Let's deal with the morning game first.
Morning. So during the fight with UN, UN had two LMGs in the bushes. And
Okay.
this is near city. They had one RPK and they had Chaka at that time. In the bushes laid there, just firing at us. So and then at that point, UN actually pushed up. So then whole red from platoon 2 and then platoon 3 were both taken down.
Wow. That's effective machine gun fire.
That's
if you could take
by
down
UN.
If you could take down 2 platoons with that.
We weren't taken out. I was in platoon 3.
No, then it was platoon 1 and 2. There we go. So
That makes more sense.
because you guys were tasked with going around, tasked
Kind
for going for the back. So then so we were both taken down at that point. We couldn't do anything. So then at that point we just said, all right, we're just gonna go back.
So you guys got pulled back then.
Yeah,
Okay,
we just gave
that
up.
Sounds
at that point.
familiar
Push
to
off.
what Justin said from the previous podcast in terms of 2 platoons getting decimated from the UN basically. I'll have to reread that story, but let's confirm with Henry. What happened in that morning time when Red was pushing up to you guys? Was there some hostility? What happened? Did you guys open up first? Did they open up first, or?
So it was a lot of yelling. It was on that northeast trail that led to the teepee, to that crossroads there.
Okay.
So Bravo team was still in city, and then we had other teams, Delta, Charlie, all spread out in different regions. So I think the call came in that the large amount of red team was spotted coming up from that path. So we reallocated our resources there. We were set up. So we had machine guns. We had, I think, at least 2 squads set up there waiting.
Was that the path leading down towards the lakes? Sorry.
Yeah, it is.
That
was the path leading down towards the lakes, right?
Yeah, to the lakes. On the right side, there was a pond, and then it went to a swamp on the left. If you're looking down towards TV, and then eventually led to that crossroads. So we were getting set up there, and so Red, it was a large force that came up, and basically we were yelling to tell them to stop, identify, and just basically stop, identify, and negotiate. So lots of yelling, and then I think from the red team, there was a yelling saying that do not stop and engage, or continue pressing on. So we were yelling back, saying, stop, let's stop, or you will be fired upon. and then yeah, it all hell broke loose. So we started firing. Our machine guns was firing. We eventually, because our squads, we are limited numbers. At first, we were getting pushed back to almost the entrance of that path from city. But eventually, we geared up our side-by-sides and we started forming behind it. And by that time, we had additional squads, and we were organizing into the side-by-sides and closing in from the different sides. So I think that was what Tony was mentioning, that you guys started getting slaughtered there. So we pushed them back to around the entrance of that, back to the clearing where the swamp and the pond eventually cleared up. And then it just became a stalemate there. But yeah, it's a firefight.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what was Red's objective in this? Just to eliminate the UN PMCs, or was it like?
I think right.
The vibe that I got was that we were basically just holding and making sure that people who were down and like the recon squads were revived, and everyone was kind of like in the same thing. So it wouldn't, as you're saying, the stalemate, like we were during that stalemate, that's when we were shooting at us from the lake, and we were shooting back. Right, we got into a lot of good fights with you, and it was mostly just hold the line until we have. I wouldn't say regroup, because there was never a point where we felt like we were overpowered, but more like until we can come up with a different plan and reapproach the situation.
Okay. And out of all this, I gotta ask, what was the scientist's role at the very beginning here? Was it just like what was he doing in the UN, and what was Red and Blue's goal in all of this when it comes to the scientist part? Because I know he played a role in the afternoon, not in the morning, but in the morning he was showing up.
Yeah, as far as the vibe that I got from the scientist and my team lead was, he was just kind of, I don't know if he was captured or if he was actually hanging out with the UNs, but he just kind of stayed inside the city for a good amount of time. We didn't get close enough to hear any chatter about it, but from what I gained from a reconnaissance mission I did and just simply looking into the city with my scope, he was just having a grand old time with them. Don't know what he was doing.
It's like he was working with them.
Yeah, it's as if he was working with them.
Yeah, we made popcorn. So.
Oh, that's convincing enough.
I haven't seen the first day. I didn't even know who the scientist was, and we were tasked with finding him. Last minute of the day 3. I didn't even know for like the whole event. I didn't even know who the scientist was.
You mean the man in the white lab coat?
Yeah, until the last minute.
That was part of your mission briefing.
So
Yeah,
I can kind of fill in some of that.
Oh yes, I want to hear the blue side of things now.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so there was a point at which Blue was invited in to help defend the city while UN was out fighting Red. And there was actually a big push by Red, and they almost took the city at one point, and we managed to push them back. And during that time, Dave was lipping off to the scientist and some of the UN people, and that's how we got put in jail.
Oh, that's where the fight broke out between both of them.
Yeah.
And then
yeah.
And then did you guys try and rescue Dave, or was he just stuck there?
No, hell, he deserved it. We actually liked him in there.
All right, so you're with the commander on that one, okay.
Yeah, so what we the commander was for it too. Like, I mean, lock him up, it was good for everybody.
For the greater good. For the greater good, lock him up.
So after we'd basically secured the city, what happened was it turned into a meat grinder.
Yeah.
We would go and the UN would attack the Red, and then all their dead would come back, and then it'd be a tag team, and then a bunch of Blue would go and fight Red, and then when they were dead, they would come back and they'd slap hands on the way past.
Like tag team.
Lots of pitch fighting during this time, like in that same area just outside of town.
Yeah,
like tons of fighting.
Hale 67 was just a death zone. Anybody walk up that, you're getting shot.
Wow.
So eventually there came a point where I think both Blue and UN launched an attack at the same time, and we pushed Red beyond the lakes. and that's where the where we shot at a bunch of the people and took one of the red technicals
Is this
We
when?
had a technical.
and a CCU.
Is
Red
this?
had a technical. I didn't even know that.
Is this when?
Yep, they did. Yeah.
Is this when Justin mentioned about the fall back that they had to do all the way up north?
It probably was. It
At the
probably
L
was.
area of
Yeah, it
that
is.
north.
We
northeast
had
corner of the
a
map.
DMR guy on our squad, and he took out a whole bunch of them around that tactical.
Wow. So was it like for you guys? Were you part of that fallback on red to
Yeah,
keep falling
so
back?
once we as I was saying before at Hill E, sorry, not Hill E, Lake E. On the opposite side of the lake, we noticed a whole bunch of our team moving up north, and so once they had passed, we kind of retreated from the lake and then followed them up. We had to carry like the CCP and a whole bunch of other really heavy stuff.
Yeah.
Shout out to my boys who carried a lot of stuff this weekend, like a lot. And Justin was very happy for us for
Those
for
things
doing
aren't
that.
light. I know
No,
that.
they're
No, not at
They're
all.
not. They required 2 people. Like we had fallen trees and we were using them as what's it called?
Stretchers.
I don't know. Yeah,
Stretchers.
basically like a stretcher, right? So we were hauling them. Yes, we retreated basically all the way up. I wouldn't even say it was a retreat as much as it was a strategic
Tactical retreat.
movement,
Yeah.
Strategic movement.
Yeah, and so we went all the way up to close to the ruins where we'd ambushed the guys the night before and set up our CCP hidden in the trees, like right outside that. This was after the helicopters, right? This is more like getting into early afternoon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they came running up to me after they captured the vehicle, and they found all sorts of red plans and stuff in it.
Oh.
So they come running up with a sheet and they say, "Well, we've got all the reds, frequencies, and stuff like that." And they're going, and here's the thing: is the frequencies were pre-planned ahead of time. Giving them to me didn't do anything. Everyone knew them anyway.
Yeah. I think in the spirit of the event, no one was really doing that.
No,
one was
you're not
really
supposed
doing
to.
it.
Yeah.
Later.
Yeah, exactly.
They were on last day.
That's
I think it was kind of like that was like kind of like just a free for all. Though we'll get there.
Okay.
Yeah, because most of us, I think we were honoring the other people's frequencies. No one was using. Yeah,
I know. We were.
Not a lot of frequencies are being stolen, but I could tell you right now that Rainbow Squad, before the game even started, we decided to write down a few things. I myself put it in a code that unless you're a nerd, you're not gonna understand, because I learned a different language for Crossfire to be able to write it down. So I doubt they even deciphered it. But if you guys deciphered that,
well, don't tell us now.
Yeah, well,
no.
I got it next year. I got next year's planned out already. I'm already in the midst of learning another language to do something else. Yeah, but he literally, this was during my duel. After I died of the duel, the guy came up. Do you have any BBs? Yes, give him the BBs, and he found my notepad that was in that pouch as well. I pulled the notepad, and the language that was there. He's like, "Oh my god, I am not gonna read that." He called his buddy over. He's like, "Hey, take a picture of this. Why? Looks important." Because I did write important, because it was. Take a picture of it. It wasn't until after the op that I actually got a text message about it. He finally someone actually deciphered it, and it was. I'm so proud that he deciphered it, because I know exactly what game he was playing to decipher it. So unless you were a nerd, you weren't going to figure that out. So the language that I learned, I know I'm going to sound like a very much child. I don't know if you understand the language of the Minecraft enchantment table.
Oh my god.
I do.
Oh my god. That's it. I'm using that.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
That's
Minecraft
pretty dope.
enchantment table. I wrote down all my information on it, all the important information, and the dude figured out one line. He's like, "No goddamn way. Is this Minecraft enchantment table?" Yes, sir, it is. I'm glad that you figured that out.
That's pretty good. I like that.
I would have figured it out as well if I looked at it long enough. Yeah.
Yeah, if you looked at it long enough, you'd be able to figure that out. It's a very simple language, but now I have a different language that I'm learning with other mathematics to do other things.
Okay.
The thing I found was because the action was so concentrated and happening so quickly that even if you captured intelligence, it would be immediately no good because things were happening so quick.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Yeah. Okay, so that is 9 a.m. till 4 or 3.
Oh,
that was-
that's moving up to the chaos.
Yeah, so now it comes unless anyone wants to add to that morning game.
There's
During that morning-
This is before the break, right? Correct.
Yes,
Yes.
this is before the break. Yeah.
Yeah, so there was some pretty interesting stuff that happened right before that. So after we reconvened up at the ruins area, we basically made a whole company level push down through the untrailed area in the middle of the map, like right above. And we swung around to like Blue's like entry point, which was by the what do you call that? The campground. Like there's a campground entrance. And we made a big push over the hill there.
This
and
is when
just
you guys
kind
got
of like
this when you guys got pushed back
yeah, so
all the way up
we
north, and
got
then you guys
pushed-
push back again.
and then we pushed back from the opposite side, right? So like striking back like past Blue's like spawn area coming
Okay.
in from that angle, right? Just as kind of like a different change of pace before the break. So we pushed along there. And while we did encounter some Blue, there was a lot of confusion there that we found on our end. So we eliminated some forward recon guys, but after we passed, like we should have had someone hovering there to make sure that they died and went back to respawn. Because after we passed, because we were kind of at the point at this, our team came up behind us and then was like, "Oh, you guys are dead," and then revived them. And these were the so then these guys were like, "Great, thanks for the revive." They run into the bushes, and then during our assault, they come behind us and they start wreaking havoc on us right from behind. And we're like, "Oh, we killed these guys already." And yeah, I had a good laugh about that. Because
You know,
they were.
you know, challenge and password do apply to being medicked as well, right? So they should have done that.
Yeah, absolutely, they should have. I mean, at that point, we didn't on both sides. Like we do the enemy's challenge, and the enemy knew our challenge, so it didn't really matter at that point.
You didn't switch it up or anything?
We changed it up later, but it wasn't communicated well enough to our team because we still had friendlies giving us the old challenge, like even like an hour before the end of the event. So
lovely. Well, that's good. Yeah, that's what Scott was mentioning, that someone got medic from the other team and then quickly eliminated them
I
afterwards.
remember that. Yeah.
Goodness me.
that was a funny time.
Yeah, that's hilarious. So yeah, it's always not fun reviving your own enemy and then having them attack you again.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
After my duel, I did beg them to medic me again. I was like, "Come on, just bring
We're on
me
the
up.
same
Just do-
team.
just
We're
do
on
it.
the same
Just do it."
team.
Well, it's like, yeah, we're on the same team. Just medic me. I'll let you go out. I'll let you go. I won't hurt you.
Okay, so at this point, everybody's sort of tired. You had about almost like 24 hours. No, not 24 hours. Like 2 days worth of games in. You still have you're in the halfway point now. This is the big break in between the Saturday game. Did anybody know who won the raffle? Did any one of you guys win any raffles or no?
Fires took half of it.
Yeah, Fires took half of it.
What did you win?
So I didn't have a lot of tickets. Basically, our team was not. They were just comfortable with where they were. So I'm like, all right, well, I'll just take the tickets, and if we win, we win. And so our tickets got drawn like 4 times
in a row. In a row.
It was quite a bit.
Wow, that sounds rigged.
It was.
It sounds a little
at the
sus to
beginning,
me.
I thought that Julian gave them it. Like,
oh, okay.
Probably set it up.
So what'd you win?
We won. What was it? One of them was 3 EPM mags.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then one was 2 green gas cans.
The baby cans, yeah.
Yeah, the baby cans. One was BBs, and then we're like, we don't really need it because we have too much. And then I forgot what the last one was.
Something small.
Yeah, I have no idea.
Something small. Then you don't remember.
Yeah, it had to be something small.
Okay.
It was.
Oh no! Wasn't it the Bifrost tracer unit?
Bifrost.
Oh,
that's a good one.
I was so mad about that.
And but it was the principle. Like I didn't want to be called up, and they kept pushing me up on the truck bed. And it was
Get back up. Get back up.
Okay, well, now we know who
Yeah.
won. All right,
I got one bag of BB.
not bad. That's
I got a patch.
But then also for the BBs, they had a rule where you can actually use it the day of the event.
Yeah, any BBs you won in the raffle was to be used in game, and it can also be taken away. So if you were able to capture the guy who won the BBs, you would have had a whole bag of twos. Yeah.
At that point though, we had so many BBs given to us by our command that it really didn't matter.
So it wasn't a finite supply. It was basically just like, hey, here you go, here you go, here you go.
It was a finite supply, but like from a
There was
meta
just
game
so
perspective,
many.
you could tell that they had more BBs than they expected, and they were just like, please use these. So because I ended up leaving the event with more BBs in my possession.
Oh, that's what I figured out as well.
Right? Like, I was like,
we
cool.
barely like in this event, I barely even fired any.
Really?
Like half of mine.
I shot a lot, but they just kept giving us BBs.
Welcome to Milsim.
Half of mine was literally just communication, like just comms.
Okay. So
Yeah, I think I fired maybe.
One thing I asked your commanders was supply chain. Was there a big issue supplying troops at the front or getting supplied from the rear? Was there any issues with that? Medic water, ammo?
First day was a big problem. First day when we were held back at 65, we had people running out. So we had runners, platoon one running out. I was doing all the feeding up BBs. So I had whoever had so we had what we did was people with access BBs in their megs, because megs, so BBs and megs couldn't be taken away.
Yep.
So what we did was they took the BBs in the megs, we dumped it all into a speed loader. So we dumped it all into an Odin. And then we ran all the way up to the front line just to handle that over. So we got half of the people their more firepower just to sustain the fire down range because we were engaged by blue.
And then for Saturday morning, was it an issue as well, or did you guys figure it out that
Saturday morning, if people were coming in late, they won't have any BBs because that time will be out.
Okay. And what about for you, Steven? What about for blue? Was there any supply chain issues?
Friday was an issue because of the teams that were active on Friday night were running out. We didn't have any problems until our CCP disappeared with the radios and the BBs supplies, and everything else.
It's just up and left.
Wow. Okay. So
and Saturday everything was fine. There was lots of
that's
ammo.
Good to know. I got sorted out then. All right. So let's talk about. I'm guessing this was a big highlight for a lot of folks because from 6 till midnight from Saturday.
This was
no
a sad time City. For me.
Sad time. Well, I think
sad
I think this is when blue.
Blue's in city.
Yeah, blue was like totally in city. You guys were in control, and that changed over the next day. But we'll talk about what's happened now. So
blue's in city.
Okay, so we know blue's in city. We know Jeff, blue commander, was still up at that northern quadrant area where you guys got pushed back. That's where you guys started, right?
So we So a whole bunch of people started went down the main road, because red was spawning in one spot, right, and blue was spawning in the city at this point in the game.
Yep.
So a whole bunch of most of red, platoons 2 and platoons 3, I think, spawned at that point. However, we had gotten permission, 3, I think, so platoon 3, we actually spawned at blue spawn through the campsite. So
okay.
So we got air. They just called it. We got airdropped in behind, to kind of do a 2-prong attack to keep it interesting.
So you guys were what Craig called the recce team that was behind their lines, biting.
It wasn't a recce team. It was a recce platoon.
Oh wow! All right. So it was an entire platoon.
Yeah.
Got it.
We had one platoon going back, backside, just to keep that cover.
We were allowed to spawn from blue's spawn point for this point, from the what's it called, just to keep it interesting, to keep the city attack fun, right? So that's what we did. We spent a long time in kind of the there's two fields, I guess. There's that really open field directly to the north of city, right? And then the kind of like half foresty, half fielded area close to the campsite entrance. So we spent a lot of time, probably a good 2 or 3 hours as it was getting dark in that area, just like attacking back and forth and like doing all sorts of stuff, throwing lots of smoke grenades and like prodding the defenses at the town and stuff. It was pretty cool.
Yeah, from the previous podcast, you were giving him a lot of headaches.
Oh yeah, it was nuts. We came close to getting people in the city multiple times. It was just really hard because it was like the communication at that point wasn't the best. Because our platoon commander, he was like after a first couple of attacks, he was like he was tired, so he went off. So our communication wasn't the best at this point. I would say it was probably the weakest.
Yeah.
It was for the whole weekend, but it was still basically we just sat there. And I think there was a point like when the city switched sides that we attacked, and then we like attack up to the city and then we get shot at. We're like, oh, like it's actually us. And
that
so
was you. Okay, yeah, because Rainbow Squad linked up with you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right.
Okay. Yeah.
And then we all died because we attacked the town. And then they're like, hey,
you all died. I revived you.
Yeah, you revived us, and then we were like, oh, we can just go into the town and spawn because it's ours.
Yeah.
So
that was. Yeah. I could tell that full story.
So is this when UN changed hands from blue to red?
Yeah.
Or is that?
Yeah, it went from red to blue, or went to blue to red. Yeah.
Okay, so is this where the betrayal happened? Where the
This was later in the day, like near.
Yeah,
like,
what was that?
What
was that call code you guys came in when Justin? No, when
Julian?
Craig.
Order 66.
No, it wasn't Order 66. I forgot what he said at the very podcast there.
The
Where
call
Like
sign?
broken arrow or something.
yeah, it was like a code that they
the
yelled
dude
out.
said something.
Yeah, I think Henry might know. Henry, do you know this code that they mentioned, like when you guys turned?
Strawberry.
What was the
Strawberry, yes.
strawberry?
But before that, there was one thing that Trigger pulled that was pretty impressive. I don't know if you guys they said it yet. Was that they drove back in their side by side behind our side by side?
Yeah.
And
When did this happen?
this was I think about 4 or 5 on day 2.
Okay.
Or was it day 3? I think Tony, this is when you were watching.
This is that thing. All right, I'm gonna go on the line.
Was that day 2?
Day 2.
Day
Yeah.
2 at the
Day
evening
2
time?
in the afternoon.
Oh, afternoon.
They legit just up into city. Nobody asked them anything, and they caused a commotion, and they got annihilated by a pistol for sure. A full squad of 7, but yeah, blue started turning on us. There was yelling, a lot of team killing. Yeah, it was fun.
This place. Okay, I'm gonna touch up on this. So at this point, what I was doing, I was chilling on top of the pizza place, eating pizza. So at the same time, we were watching a raid go down. But we actually ordered a raid. So all of these guys were actually near the spawn point. They were just spawning in. So they just came in because at this day, Ken woke up at lunchtime. So
okay, so we're going back to game 2 then.
So at lunchtime, so this is like lunch break. This is before lunch break.
Before lunch break. Okay, 1 or 2 o'clock.
So yeah, so around that time, what we did was, so these guys were far south. So they were at the back of the field. They were near Hill 606 at that point. So they were near that point. So then we ordered them to take the side by side. And so what I had at that point was, so I told my dad that we need to cause some commotion here. City's getting really boring. Because we can see where the blue's fob is. We know we can see from my angle up there, I can see every single angle. I can see whatever happening down low, but all I needed was, so I went up back to my cabinet, grabbed a radio. So that's comms. And then I grabbed a map, a compass, and a rangefinder. So once I grabbed those, I contacted back to my squad, so that which is squad 2 in platoon 2. So I was back on comms with those guys, and then we gave specific orders that tell city is pretty much undefended. There is fog on the right, and then there is another group, as well as Blue Commander. So Craig's car, whatever, it wasn't Craig's car, it was someone else's car that he was driving, was parked in the back. So that so at this point, I ordered people to take in city, and then so that if you see the video, that's when. So before that, there was actually one engagement that we had with city, and then afterwards, what we did was I ordered Ken. So at this point, Ken wasn't really in charge at that point. So I told Ken that we needed to go and take city at this moment because there's nobody. So what he did was we took at least half a platoon of people, just our guys at least. We had 7 or 8 guys with us at that point, and Ken with his side-by-side drove in, and then the raid happened. So they were on city wall. They couldn't see anybody there, as well as that's when Greed was alerted. And then if you look closely and see there's a talk between Ken and the other guy in the video, where it shows both of them say, what? I didn't tell you to. So we pretty much planned a surprise attack. They didn't know what was happening. And then Ken was like, so then the argument between Trigger and then with the UN happened. So then for the rest of the day, we weren't allowed to attack city at all because of this commotion.
Because of your insubordination. Got it.
Yeah, pretty much. Because we also
That's also a
have,
war crime.
Wow,
didn't
communicating
have,
from out of the game area?
Yeah, exactly.
Pizza Commander?
It was out of bounds. The deck and going back to your cabin, that's not exactly fated. That would be fair.
Not exactly kosher.
You're banned.
But it was fun. I shot my commander twice.
Oh
So
no.
But then
It did work though. It sowed confusion, and what happened is it almost broke the pact between UN and Blue at that point, because Blue wasn't trusting UN because a lot of the shots coming were from Red, but we thought they were UN.
Oh, there you go.
And then that's at that point, once UN got back into control, that's when Ken and then the Trigger guys got into in jail. And then the whole other story with Ken and the jail thing.
Wait, Ken was in jail too?
Oh, Ken was in jail as well.
Oh wow, I didn't even know that. Okay.
And then the funny situation there erupted where Ken says he doesn't want to be in jail, and then they were constantly arguing. And before that, they also had another argument with the UN, with one of the admins over this engagement.
Okay, sounds game breaking, sure.
And then what happened after that was the cap. So pretty much the whole team just gets captured, and then it goes back to our and then it just goes back to us just hanging out up there, just talking.
Okay. So when did that so at game 3, when did that part happen where they yelled out the code? I think it's strawberry shortcake or something like that. What Craig was mentioning when they got betrayed by the UN?
It was definitely dark out at that point.
Was it? Okay.
Yeah, it was
later.
It was later because
it was right at dusk.
Yeah, because for the commander's perspective, that seems to be a highlight for them at game 3 is when the changing of hand happened from blue to
from the stories
red.
that I heard of the betrayal that happened, I don't know what happened because Jeff and I were running our own thing way back. Apparently, somebody walked out with flares on their hat, just talking with their hands up, just walking towards. And I guess the word was said, and this dude just started getting shot from out of, and then he dropped, and that's when the whole betrayal happened. I wish I was there for that. Unfortunately, I was not.
Yeah. Was anybody close to that, or?
We were on the outskirts of that, but not close enough to actually see that. So, because
very-
we were attacking, it was a whole bunch of people walking out. We weren't really sure. What was happening.
So you're up behind enemy lines basically at that point.
Oh, we were way behind enemy lines.
What about you, Henry? Did you hear any of this happening where the dude got shot in the helmet and then stuff was flying out of his head? I think it was Roman. It was Roman that got shot.
That was when tied that guy up with a stick, right?
Yeah.
No.
That's different. That's another highlight for this time.
I was in charge of that one.
He had the pyro guy strap some stuff to him, and then he got shot, and stuff started coming out of him. That one.
Do you know who shot first?
That I wasn't sure.
Okay.
No idea where the shot in came.
Well, we'll get to the bottom of that maybe in another episode if people want to jump in and talk about that later. Okay, so what happened at the POW that you guys captured after that strawberry?
So
that was hilarious.
So I can talk about that one. After we made our way through to the city, we figured that we were all there. We took a nice break. Had some water, rested our legs because we were out there for a while in the dark, going far around. During that far around, we encountered so many people that we saw two, but the amount of shots that were coming in was, I swear, another platoon firing at us. We never actually found the dude that started to shoot at us. There was just a ghost. Like, we were just sneaking along. I did hear one click of a stick. I notified my team. I was like, yo, I think there's something there. It might be a bird or it might be a deer. I don't know. Just keep an eye. 3 seconds later, you hear the echo of a GBB just in the canyon, just boom, 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 just flying towards us. We take cover. We tried looking for the dude. We never actually found him. And that's when we hooked up with the other Reds, Jeff squad. We had no idea where this dude went. So just a ghost in the forest just shooting at us. But after we found our way to the city, had our nice little water break, I'm roaming around, just kind of seeing who's there, who do I know, who's fun to talk to. Then I hear from behind me, Rainbow, what? What? Come have a talk with him. Talk with who? I wander into the actual prison cell, and there's this dude just laying on the ground with an emergency blanket draped all over him, like a freaking body bag over him. He's just laying there. And he's like, ask him some questions. Why should I ask him some questions? He's the enemy's sniper, is what I heard. Me being a sniper, I was like, oh, okay. So I put my rifle up against the wall. I get down on my knees to look at the dude. I rip back the towel. I was like, hey, buddy, how's it going? You were captured, were you? I start asking the questions. Any intel? Anything you want to tell me? How's your day going? Are you allergic to penicillin? I was just kind of talking to him.
You're interrogating him at this point.
I was interrogating him. The worst interrogation you will ever see. Got zero information from him. Nice. Finally, Red Command comes up, says, who is this? And I explain we all explain who it is. We're like, what? Why is he still here? Why is he not dead yet? So at that point, we put the towel back over the dude's head. We're like, you don't want to watch this. And we put the towel back over his head. You hear the Red Command pull out a pistol, and you hear it. Okay. And he starts talking to him, and he gets on command radio to notify Blue Command what's about to happen to this enemy player, to this hostage situation.
Oh my!
Red Command to Blue Command. Red Command to Blue Command. Comms were not working. We're like, what do we do with you? So I noticed this dude. He's having fun. He's really enjoying being captured right now. We are having so much fun. We're like, why don't we crucify him? What? Why don't we crucify him?
Who's this? Who said crucify?
I did.
Oh, okay.
I said, why don't we crucify him instead of just shooting him in the head right here? yeah, that's a good idea. The dude on the ground, yeah, I want to be crucified.
Actually, if you look in our chat here, I took a photo of it while they were crucifying him. You can
Yeah.
bring that up.
So,
Bring that up if you want. It was really funny.
So we have
Look at his smile.
we have the blue flag because we from the betrayal, their blue flag was still just on the ground. So we took the blue flag. I went into the forest about 10 feet, found a nice stick to put as the crossbar. We zip tie him to it, we crucify him, and then we send him walking into the darkness, just into the abyss to go back to his own teammate or back to his own teammates. And it was
very funny.
It was so funny watching a crucified blue team member walk back into the darkness, no idea where he's going. And he had a fun time being a prisoner of war. I'll tell you that one. And he will never forget that.
So that's what happened. Okay, now we have the full story.
Yeah, we crucified a blue member to send back to his team.
See, there you go. More war crimes.
I was about to say, if Red Commander shot him, that's a confirmed war crime right there from Red Commander. You know.
We just crucified him and sent him on his way.
I mean, yeah, he was still alive technically. So...
it was quite a fun scenario.
Yeah. So was there any other highlights from that Game 3 night, or because I heard it started winding down earlier than expected for the night?
Not exactly a highlight, but during Game 3, I had the unfortunate loss of my sword out there.
Oh, what happened there? What happened there?
Oh, I'm gonna cry thinking about it. Because it was a fairly hot day, especially even just after lunch. Because this was after lunch that it happened. Super hot day.
The weather changed, I heard. Yeah.
Yeah, the weather switched on us, and I was wearing my combat tee, and then I had a light jacket and my plate carrier. I was like, oh my god! And I usually, if you've seen me, I run my sword on my back, just in between my carrier and myself. I had to de-layer, so I took everything off. I rolled up my jacket, put it back in my backpack, and in that time, vehicles or UN vehicles were coming like, get down. So we got down. I didn't notice that my sword wasn't it was more sticking up like this. I was like, oh my god, I do not have time for you. Coincidentally, the weather also kicked my buddy's butt. He had to de-layer as well, and I'm the only one with a backpack, so I decided to carry it for him. I shoved my jacket into my backpack, and that's all the room that my little pack can carry. So I decided to roll his up and put it right here on my back between the plate carrier and myself. I no longer have a place for my sword to sit, so I do the standard through the belt loop. And through the belt loop, Trail 67 again is where all my action took place. We were wandering up. Again, another vehicle comes by, getting around dusk time. Another vehicle comes around, and I dip into the bush, not realizing that this thing is no longer attached to my back.
Ooh.
And that's when it just jangled itself out of my belt loop and just fell on the road. That was the last time I actually saw him or saw my sword, and I was so heartbroken about it.
Okay, Justin got it back for you.
I know my sword has been found. He is safe.
Okay.
I still have to go get him.
All right. Henry, any highlights from the UN other than the strawberry shortcake and the guy getting shot in the head and the crucifixion?
Overall, it was fun in our side. Like, we knew we were short-staffed. Not short. Well, yeah, technically short-staffed. But we had a lot of negotiations, a lot of talk. Highlight would be some massacres, some trading of buns, and we didn't see a dime, by the way. It all went to the higher ups.
Of course.
It was fun. It was immersive to a point, and Red really, put the effort into making it like interesting. I mean, day 2 was a lot of firefighting. Day 3, a bunch of us started winding down, so eventually it became bribable.
Yeah, I heard the PMCs in the UN were basically packing up early.
Yep.
Yeah.
The majority of us, but there were still the hunters or I think Alpha or Delta squad that were all decked out in nods and stuff, and they were last out hunting. But yeah, no, it was enjoyable. Highlights,
not just nods. Some of them had thermals. Like
had-
Fleur thermals.
Had thermals.
Yeah, I got to look through one of those thermals. You are not hiding from that whatsoever. Like just staring into the darkness, I saw just a bunch of red spokes just looking at me. I was like, "Oh, that looks terrifying." I am
Predator
not. No.
vision.
Yeah,
Predator,
literally predator vision. It was terrifying. Like, is that what's waiting for me out there? Heck no, I'm not going out there.
Yeah. Chuck. Oh, the infamous. What was it? Was day 2 evening. We're defending our spawn, or sorry, not spawn. Well, technically, our city was. Dennis was up in the scaffolding, so he was firing. You know, I was reloading, and all of a sudden, like, I hear like the swear word from Dennis. It's like frick, and then I hear a thump. I'm like, what happened? So he shot his barrel off.
That's right.
And
no.
my barrel broke. I'm like, what do you mean it broke? And yeah, so he was out of commission for the rest of the night, and then he went back to get his other gun. It was pretty funny, but yeah,
Whole gun just blew up on him. His barrel overheated. That's what it was.
Oh, his barrel heated up. Wow, that's pretty realistic for a milsim. For Steven, anything interesting on day 3 other than those that we just talked about? Or blue
Day
side?
3 was actually pretty good for our
Or not
our
day
team.
3, sorry, day 2, game 3, yeah.
I gotta be honest, I took the evening off on
okay.
yeah.
All right,
So we
that's all
just
good.
relaxed. And because we had a good view of what was happening above the city and the chateaus, we just sat there and had a few beverages and ate some popcorn and watched the action.
Yeah, so yeah, that what the admins and commander were saying was like, yeah, day 2 night was basically like a lot of people were just burnt and they needed some rest. So I heard that night was short at that point.
Day 2 night was funny.
Yeah, day 2 night. What actually ended up happening? A rumor actually got started between blue and red, actually linking together to take on the UNs or to take on the PMCs of the UNs. I don't know who started that, but someone said, "Hey, we're together. We're together." No, we're not. So we just kept shooting. People started getting really frustrated because there was zero communication between commands on whether or not this rumor was true. And through the initial rumor, I want to say like the first 30 minutes of the rumor, a lot of people ended up going back inside, like to their campgrounds, and
I don't
we're
know
leaving
how
the
that
game early.
rumor got started.
I don't know.
That
I don't
was
know.
pretty funny because
Yeah,
we were
I don't
like,
know who.
my squad was like, I don't know if that's not true at all. Like we were shooting people and like
Yeah, because
so we were just like we just ignored that, like because like it didn't make any sense.
Yeah,
we like,
so many people.
Yeah.
Was there like a moment? Was there like a momentary truce of like, I'm tired, let's just link up or something?
No, I
Maybe that
honestly
happened,
don't know
like-
where it came from.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So it's
Friday
just a
night.
ghost chatter.
Friday
but
night. Who was it? Ken woke up that day at 8:30. So he woke that day he woke up all the way at 9:30. He was in his cabin all the way until 9:30. So if you see
Saturday night.
Yeah, Saturday night. So if you look at the one.
But you said he
where,
woke up at 1 to 2 in the afternoon.
Yeah, I thought you were hanging out with him.
he was in the afternoon and then he left. So they had like a party back in their cabin during that time.
Oh, so he left after lunch and then came back at
and then
8.
came back at night.
Okay.
Had a nice little nap.
So
Okay.
then around at that time is when if you see it was one of Joel's. It was Marauders Joel's team actually. So we were on my team. Red was on. Platoon 2 was on. We were coming up from the ridge line because there's that ridge that's wide open.
What time is this?
Around 8:30 to 9:30.
Okay.
So we were heading up by the there's this ridge line up here. We got pretty much all the way to the top where half of that we saw Aces and Eights cabin. So so we were around that area at that point. So we were almost pushing up to city, so where our normal spawn point was. So then that's when in the background we got I got radio interference because I was still on comms at that point. And the radio interference, I was actually having a back and forth chat with a member of Joel's team at that point. He was asking if that was us on the ridge right there, and I stupidly answered yes. But then later I figured out, wait, no, that's not right. And then so that's when those guys came in and engaged us. So Joel and their squad at that point engaged us. So then you could see them actually taking us out. Funny thing there is, as I was being engaged on, my gun's motor jammed.
Huh.
So tack that motor jammed that like the wires came off.
Huh.
So I had to get, so the following week I came back. I went to Panther to get that motor checked back plugged back in because the wires came undone, and that was during one of the major firefights. If we could have won that, we pretty much would have pushed up, because we still had 3 more guys a bit lower with our as riflemen who could have just shot there with bursts. But then at that point, half the team was already taken out. So then and then the intel changed, and then afterwards at that moment, once so that's when the wrapping up came up. And that's when one of blue team actually started engaging upon our vehicles, which were just coming downstream. And then that's when we figured out that until like last minute, they figured out, oh, that place was out of place. Like that place wasn't in play. So we're talking about the top spawn point. Like, so the spawn on top of the city. So the spawn point right on top of the resort area, which was in road 67. So right there on the spawn point area where it was actually locked. So that was actually a no play zone, but we didn't know until later in the game until that was a no play zone. So then those guys engage upon Ken, and then later on didn't really count it. So then we just continue playing on.
Okay. All right. Well, we've killed off day 2 now. Game 3, game 2, day 2, game 3 now, and let's move on to day 3. This is where the highlight of the sort of main storyline happens with the creation of the WMD with the scientist, and as well as I believe it was Red who got everything collected in terms of creating this WMD that the scientist was creating. Let's hear some stories of that, of what happened on that day. This is game 4, day 3, and as well as what did you guys have to collect and stuff, or which squad was there to collect stuff for the scientist? Because I didn't get a clear picture from the commanders from the previous podcast. I want to hear what the boots on the ground had to do to get this going.
So
Okay, I could probably start from that one.
Yeah, because for blue you had the disadvantage now of not having the town anymore, I believe.
We were kicked out of the town, and there was a group that was in charge of moving supplies to the city once we liberated the city. And my platoon finally got into the thick of it and given the job of liberating the town.
Okay.
So it was a good fight. It was a lot of smokes being thrown.
So
And,
there was no negotiations now. This was more of we're fighting at this point.
At that point, it was who remained at the UN had joined us in liberating that town.
Okay.
So we were very thorough. First of all, we cleared the forest around the town, and then went into clearing the town. And we had the UN technicals to help us take that town.
Okay.
But the Red put up a good fight because there was some times when we were just holding on to that city with our fingernails as they kept on assaulting us.
So was it a back and forth
And,
battle of you having the town and then getting pushed out? They have the town.
Oh no, we pushed them out of the town, but they were pushing back hard.
Okay.
Yeah, but during that time, the scientist was like, he was playing with us. He'd ask for a part, and then he would dither around forever before he'd ask for another part. And meanwhile, we're in a panic because we're worried Red's going to take it before we can get this thing built.
Yeah. During the third day, like I didn't wake up for a while because I was just dead beat tired. So I actually didn't play, but I did watch from on top of the mine hill because all the action was happening down by city. Watching that scientist work you guys over was the funniest thing I have ever watched a player do. He'd take something, or he'd take a part, look at you guys, say, yeah, I'm going to build it. As soon as you guys turned around, he dipped. He went around the corner. He hid the part. He ran around like a crazy person with his arms flailing around the head. Watching the UN and Blue try to control this mad scientist was so funny from a distance.
Okay.
And we're at the same time trying to keep Red from taking the city back.
You had to deal with a mad scientist who would not build anything for the life of him, and then Red constantly hammering y'all.
Oh man. Jeff or Tony, were you part of the platoon that attacked it?
So we were sticking around again near the lakes, moving back and forth between the lakes, like C and B.
Yep.
And the field that was right up close to it. So we basically bounced between those two things, like fighting off Blue's reinforcements coming in, and making sure that they didn't get reinforced any heavier than that. So we never attacked the town again until the final push at the end there. And we were kind of mobbing around the forests, making sure things didn't happen. And from what my understanding too is like during Blue's, as we said before, during Blue's attack, there was like an instance with some players out of like who were not part of the game, or not players, randoms who weren't part of the game, who like came onto the field, like
they walked in,
like riding horses.
Oh, okay.
And so because there was like a double booking or something, like there was some issue, and then so that caused a bunch of people to have to get moved around, when we weren't supposed to get moved around.
Okay. Interesting. I guess that's an admin issue for.
Yeah,
so I think that
we just thought it was
just before the very end, though, I think Red did like a Leroy Jenkins charge, and it was glorious, but they were all wiped out.
Yeah, it was a valiant effort.
I'm surprised it's not Rainbow that did that Leroy Jenkins.
I am fairly disappointed
that was one of the guys on my team that
really
led that charge. Yeah, one of the ISP guys did that.
Yeah, because I heard Red held it clutch at the very last. From what the commanders and admins were saying, is like you guys did the final push to take over the town. And did you guys were you guys was that achievable, or was that achieved through this push?
Not really. We don't think it was achievable. We just did it because like we knew that the game was getting called and we just wanted to have fun.
Okay.
That's so we good, just so we just like threw a ton of BBs in there, right? And this is like right before they started detonating the rocket and sending all the explosions off, right? So yeah, it was super chaotic, right? It was very fun though. We shot a lot of people, but obviously there was a lot there, right? So we couldn't really do much.
So I heard that at the third day there was a huge attrition rate of like a lot of people just sort of like leaving or not jumping in the game anymore. Is this a true statement? Because it seems like from the game 3 night there wasn't a lot of people a lot of people were just like falling off and basically heading to bed early. And then
there was definitely less players.
Yeah, that the previous day kicked everybody's butts. Like that heat plus with what was expected of us, well, not really expected, which was ordered of us to do. Everybody did it perfectly. They just didn't realize the amount of attrition that you needed to last A, throughout the sun, B, the topography of that AO.
Yeah.
My God.
I won't name names, but there were a couple teams that got a little crazy in their chateaus on Saturday night. And didn't
I,
play Sunday.
I heard.
Get fit or
yes.
die.
I heard
Get fit or
that.
die.
Yeah. I was down in the horse camping and I could hear what was going on. Holy heck.
So, I guess it played out as the admins played it out. For you guys, did it play out the way it should have been played out? Like the teams fighting, or whatever this objective is to get this WMD from both sides. Did it play out like it should have been?
It felt like the whole time.
I think it went.
Go ahead.
I don't know. I see.
I think it went as planned. I think it was perfect.
Yeah, like it definitely felt there was never a point where we were bored. Like, I mean, we got guard duty right off at the beginning, and like one of our guys who
the
never
most
really
boring
played,
job. Yeah.
he hadn't really played a Milsim before. He's like, "Oh man, why do we have guard duty?" I'm like, "Dude, we get guard duty now in the first hour of gameplay. That means we get to play for the rest of the weekend." And he's like, "Oh yeah, good point."
Exactly.
Exactly.
Oh my god, it's like
Do not burn out on the first
Yeah,
hour.
I was like, "Why are you complaining?" So my squad, we stayed on the field the whole time. There was I think we only had one guy who didn't play, but like from the game on to Index, we were on the field the whole time for the whole weekend. And we were definitely tired by the end of it, but we weren't. There's never a point where we were like, "Man, I'm dead. I'm not feeling this anymore." It was interesting enough that we were happy to keep playing. We were happy to burn energy and do what we were told. So.
Okay, well that's good. Rainbow, what about your team? Was there a huge attrition rate, and then as well as did you guys keep on throughout? I know you didn't really play through the third day.
Yeah, because the second day, just the amount of reconnaissance that Stefan sent me on, because I'm a light guy.
Yeah.
I traveled light and I'm quick, and he's heard stories of my
sneakiness
adventures. So he's obviously sent me to do a lot of stuff. We did have a first-time airsofter join us. His first ever airsoft experience happened to go into a Milsim. This dude was crazy. So his endurance could have used or was a little lower than the rest of us. But I myself got really tired off the second day. I didn't play during the third, but there wasn't a time that somebody off Rainbow Squad was not in the game. Never a time that that Rainbow Squad wasn't out there.
That's good.
So yeah, but they had fun.
And for you, Tony, your first Milsim experience, how was it like for you? We want to hear this.
That actually, during the event, all I felt like was I barely see blue. I barely engaged blue the whole time. I was just fighting UN.
Yeah.
So it was just us against UN, and then but that was fun.
Was your expectation of a Milsim different from a regular game, or you were thinking it was the same?
It's definitely gonna be different because I've actually I've done smaller Milsims before, so I've done Op Shanty.
Yeah.
So I've done the smaller ones before. Not much difference. More walking around. Yeah, a lot of walking around.
Walking simulator.
Pretty much walking simulator 2.0. You just do a lot of walks, but like overall, the event was on point.
Okay.
The event, like till this day, my dad and I, we keep on talking about it.
Good.
Just because of how fun it was, how much fun we had with people that we spent with.
One of the things with us, at least, was we had hotel rooms. So we found that we were able to like retain energy,
recuperate faster,
right? Like, so it's not like Milsim West where you're out and you're sleeping in the muck, right? And you're rolling around and you're getting shot with your goggles on while you're trying to have a nap, right?
Sleep?
So like,
you sleep at Milsim West?
They give you opportunity to, right? But I'm not saying it happens.
I only need 2 hours. I'm good.
20 minutes. You can either eat or you can sleep.
Yeah, if I don't get my beauty rest, I am not a nice person.
Yeah, so it's like being able to come back. I mean, so that after day one, we got back at around 1:30, right? And then we got out of bed at 8. So like that having a shower after every game in like the hot tub and everything.
Oh,
Like that
you
definitely
bugger.
it definitely changes like how you play, like because like again we weren't like exhausted, right? We were able to refresh between each session, even though each session was long. We were
You have to shower with the water bottle.
So I'll ask you this, Jeff. You've been to MSW before, right?
No, I have not.
You have not.
I have not.
Oh,
No.
okay. Have you done a tier 1 event before where you sleep out at the field?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Would you prefer tier 1 or tier 2?
I think it depends, right? I think what's fun about Crossfire is that you know that it's it's a milsim light, right? If you want to classify it as that.
Yeah.
But like you know that you're gonna have energy to do all like the fun engagements all the time, right? And it's good for the cameras. It's good for it's good for that kind of stuff, right? But I mean, a tier 1 event is cool in its own way because you're doing something else, right? You're really
in the shit. You're in the shit, yeah.
And you're having fun doing that, right? So. I mean, I don't know which one I prefer. I mean, like, so I've done some of the Panther, like the Panther tier 1 events, right, where it's like it's 24 hours like overnight. Those are really fun in their own way, but it's obviously not as long as say a bigger one.
Yeah.
But
and
I don't know. I can't really classify which one I like better, right? Like I enjoy them both.
As well as the drive up there was nice.
Oh yeah, no, you gotta enjoy the interior of BC.
Yeah.
It's beautiful up there.
The interior of BC is beautiful, and the property of Crossfire, like that topography is amazing. Just to even walk through, because I know it's a ski resort, horseback riding, and all that stuff. I can see why.
I was actually born in 108 Mile Ranch, which is funny.
Where are you?
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
Dang, home field advantage.
Home field advantage.
I didn't spend very much of my life there, but yes, I was born very close. So.
The blood of the land is in you.
Henry, let me ask you this. As UN, how was the scene there? Was it different from playing a regular force, or was it just like as intense? Because it seems like you guys were pretty intense there. I think we lost Henry. Oh, there he is.
No. Hey, yeah, no. It was intense when we first got in because knowing our numbers is completely dwarfed by either teams. But overall, once we got the lay of the land, known our roles, it was pretty straightforward. I mean, we're here to maintain the peace, get paid. That's pretty much it.
I don't know if violence and peace have the same thing.
We gotta have some fun though, right?
I guess.
There's peacekeeping and there's peacemaking.
And then there's war crimes.
Yeah.
Details, boy, details.
Called the Geneva suggestion.
So, yeah.
Suggestion. Oh no.
So yeah, it seems like everybody's had fun. And for Steven, how is it like for Blue? I know you're the only Blue representative here, but what was the feeling for overall for Blue players?
I think that everyone had a really good time. I mean, it was more of a skirmish because it was compressed into the middle of the field, and it was already a pinch point. So I think everyone really enjoyed themselves. I think that they did a very good job at having more action. My personal preference is maybe a little bit different than that. I enjoyed the combat, and I enjoyed the hot and heavy action in the center, but I kind of wish we used more of the field. There was side missions or stuff like that.
Did you feel like it was more scripted in a way, or did you feel like it was more like create your own adventure? With chain of command, squad leader. You go from.
I think it was a combination of both.
Okay.
I think it was a very organic situation. They would go in with an idea of the script, but it may not have worked the way they wanted it to.
Okay. Yeah, because from what I'm getting from Omega side was, they don't script it out. They like to play it out as it goes, but they also like to lead where it goes. Because if you let it play out, like the players would play it out, then it would be, it would either be unfair or unbalanced or not fun.
About that.
Yeah, go ahead.
So my thing is, I mean, after the Crossfire 1, this was one of my suggestions. to them was I was like, I really hope that you guys like you put people that you know in charge of the squads. 'Cause I know other larger events, like I know Nilson West does that, right? Where people
cadres,
all the cadre are in cahoots with each other, right? So they're less like commanders and more like dungeon masters, you could say, right? They're not there to lead you to be like, okay, we gamed the system, right? And we won.
No,
right?
they
So
all
cool.
need to be part
You
of the
know,
game.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, so they're there to talk with each other, to make interesting fights happen, and make fun situations go down. That's why it was interesting the whole weekend, was because the commanders are in cahoots with each other, and they're making these fights happen, and they're making it interesting, keeping it balanced. And I thought that was very important, and I thought that was done very well.
Okay, as far as your commanders are set by the admins, but as far as like platoon commanders and squad leaders, so squad leaders are always going to be whoever, you're this group, right? You're this team, but we have to pick one leader. As far as the platoon commander is concerned, are they handpicked by the admins, or are they sort of like volunteered, or they're volunteers?
I would say that, I mean, with ours at least, anyways, two of them stepped up. I know that they had trouble finding a leader for us, and like our platoon leader came up to me. He's like, I was voluntold to be to be our leader, right? Like, and he did a fine job because he had a little bit of experience doing that, and I know that they had traveled they had traveled to some tier 1 events before, so they kind of knew their way around things. But he didn't know he was platoon lead until the night before. So
yeah, I mean, as a platoon leader, you're supposed to know that you have 48 to 50 men under your wing.
Yeah,
but that's a huge responsibility.
It is, but I mean, as long as he was able to keep it separated, as I said, we had our radio channels divvied up enough, right? So he had 50 people underneath him, but he was only talking to 4 of us, right?
Yeah.
Like our radio channel, our platoon radio channel only had 4 people in it, right? So the nitty gritty stuff got dealt with, and he was able to focus on more big picture things. And I felt that ran very well, even though, he wasn't
as long as command and control works. What about for blue, Steven? Was it the same situation where?
Yes and no. I think there was, we had a lack of command in a couple of the platoons.
Platoon commanders?
Yeah, there was people that didn't volunteer. So I think there was a gap in there.
Okay.
So that meant that squad leaders had to pick up. So there was a little more traffic on comms than you'd normally like if there was like a designated platoon leaders.
Okay.
I think we had Joel, who was in command of 1.
Yep.
And platoon 3 never really had a platoon leader.
It was just a mix-up of people.
Craig sort of took that under his wing, as well as being the overall faction commander. So I think there was a little bit of a command gap in there.
Well, that's good to know then. It's always good to see sort of feedbacks for events, and what I've noticed is usually it's command structure that kind of is lacking sometimes, but seeing from what you guys have told, that's sort of an improvement that Omega can listen to.
For this event, what I would say would be comms, instead of like having everyone on like one frequency, we could do like squads can have their own frequencies, but on the main channels only squad leaders.
They did.
Tony,
remember
how we talked about
the briefing?
reading?
Yes.
But then as well as on the main frequency, can we only keep squad leaders that like?
Yes, they had a
platoon.
They had a platoon net.
Yeah.
So from what I'm getting from listening to you guys here is that it seems very clear that what Poi has suggested before with implementing a mixture of modern technology with Discord might be more conducive, considering you guys said you had a lot of terrain problems when it came to connecting with your radios and things like that. I feel like in the future here, more things might get turned over to Discord, seeing as our buddy Rainbow here had 94 calls.
That's the thing about 108 Mile Ranch, though, is people forget it's close to a city. It has data connection. It has the phone, right? Like, you know what I mean? I think another thing to note too is I think a lot of people think they need to have radios when they really don't. This is probably more obvious.
Like straight up, just start yelling at each other.
At you, you're gonna hear me.
Your average your average player just doesn't need one. Especially like all of my guys had a radio,
Yeah, I
but
agree.
they only turned it on. It's like, I went to respawn. I need to talk to you to find out where we are. They got back within range. They turned it off. Right. So none of my guys were screwing around with any sort of stuff like that, and it made things simpler and easier.
And this gets into
okay. So I think that leads back to radio discipline too.
Yep.
I think that if you're not on the radio if you don't have to be, and there was a little bit of undisciplined stuff going on there.
And on top of that,
that's a learned behavior.
And on top of that, what I'm hearing is people will miss radio callouts or will miss this, right? That's why I was suggesting using Discord, because of the fact that you could send out an order. It could be asynchronous, meaning that it syncs up when you turn on your phone. You see a text, you don't have to wait for a voice prompt to come in and read it to you, right? You basically just read it, be like, oh yeah, at squad 1, platoon 1, attacked this. Right,
text-based information.
Last order was 10 minutes ago. Read it. I'm sending that to my squad 1 right away. Hey, command has ordered us to attack. Let's go.
At the same time, though, it's like people see like operators and stuff with like headsets, and they're like, "Oh, I want to be cool," right? So it's like, everyone wants to be cool. That's why you're here playing Airsoft.
Airsoft is 90% image.
Yeah, but most of the time they don't know how to use it, and they're ineffective on using it, right? So it's just one of those things where A, they use it because they train with it. B, we don't train with it and we look cool with it, but we don't know how to effectively use it.
You also have to look at the size of the field and where most of the action is happening. If the action's real fast, it's over by the time you're actually communicating what's going on.
Yeah.
So sometimes communications work better in a larger field where more time is passing.
Yeah.
Then you need equipment.
Yeah, that's the big one. It's just like if you're using radios, right? It's hard to use. I don't want to jump into the radio topic here too much because we did spend a topic.
You guys could spend a lot of time talking about that for sure.
But right? As far as like what Steven's talking about, if things develop slower, right? Radio communications would be easier to sort of manage and stuff, and with proper training, right? Sending back proper sit rep reports and as well as location reports, your SILs. Everything else that goes back to command can basically look at it and be like, okay, this is what we have for this squad. They're over here, they need ammo, they're low on ammo and stuff. We could send this squad over here who's close by, do this and that, right? They could do that much more easier when you have a dedicated sort of like radio team, that does it, like a squad that does it. They basically are like the battle or the combat combat communications. Basically, they just listen to it, send it up to command. Basically, command will make the decision to whatever they want to do with them.
No, I don't know how much.
The other.
Oh, sorry, I don't know how much if Blue knew much about this, but also our second in command was actually a radio operator he was in the 57th Ranger Regiment for a little while, so he was like. He knows if you're in the Ranger Regiment, you know what you're doing, right? That's like kind of like that's up there. And so he was really good at that, at like maintaining that and like being a second in command. So basically, our commander didn't stay on the radio at all. He gave his orders to this guy who was able to then distribute that to our platoon leaders and stuff. And he ran really good because of that. So having that real
skill set,
that real military skill set in a command position, who was able to then send that down to us plebeians, that was nice.
You don't really have to have military experience to begin with on that. You just know how to absorb information and what to use with.
Oh no, absolutely.
Yeah, go ahead, Steven.
The other thing I learned is you have to split it up. You can't have a person being an RTO and signals intelligence at the same time.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, too many jobs.
Bottom line, communications could use some work. I mean, introducing an element which players are used to, like Discord or something, text-based commands, that would probably be something that I'm going to research on later, which I'm actually going to research on later for Op Shanty 2. Because I'm going to try out if text-based will actually work better than radio-based. Because radios, not a lot of people know a lot of radio etiquette or how to use it, or even just like reaching out. But if you have 5G or 4G or 3G out at the field, let's try and use it, right? So see if that works.
Everyone at Panther should have data, right? So
And radio discipline, I think that people need to learn how to talk using whatever technology they have.
Yeah. So yeah, let's move away from the radio stuff because we know that was a big issue even from the commander side. I get it. It's just one of those things that is hard to grasp.
Yeah.
And just requires a lot of training, right? That's why it's a specialized tool, right? For emergency use as well. So that's why you have to get a license and stuff. But overall, I'm gonna ask this. I'll just go by one by one from everybody. How was it? Was it good? Was it bad? And will you attend again? So let's start off with Jeff.
No, it was great. I mean, compared to I had fun at Crossfire 1, but Crossfire 2 basically made Crossfire 1 look like a pickup game. Like so, and it was great. Yeah, there was no downtime except when the game was paused. Right, we were always doing stuff. We were always doing cool things. We always had a good time. Aside from some confusion, like with armbands, like the decision to mix camo and then also not issue team colors was kind of poor, but I think they realized that, and I think that will get addressed going forward. That was good. We'll definitely attend again. I know since a whole bunch of people that I played Tarkov with, they all go to Airsoft because of Tarkov just this year, and they're all like, "We're gonna come," after seeing some of my footage from Crossfire, and they're like, "Yeah." So it's like got a lot of people hyped on it. I'll definitely go back. So
I gotta love it when Tarkov changes the gaming community.
It's
I can't play any other FPS games because of it.
Yeah, I know it's crazy.
I think TAC agrees with me as well.
My friends are playing it on my monitor behind me right now.
So. Oh, I know. I've been watching, dude. That's customs right there. I know. All right, Tony. What about you? Love it, hate it, and would you attend another one?
As a first Milsim event that I went to, yeah, definitely. Like Milsims, I would go to more often. Like I'm hitting up Op Shanty soon.
Yep.
And then I'm grabbing a couple friends from there's a couple of guys who live in the States who I know from Airsoft. And then we're gonna be heading up down to Washington for the one up down there. So on the Milsim West
gotta
events.
be 18. Just be careful with that.
Yeah. So that's why I'm planning it for next year.
There you go.
Do we know when they're doing that? Sorry to deviate the topic. When the next steps game is?
I think it's September as usual. I believe. No, I think they're changing that up to the patrol challenge.
The next steps challenge is going to be the patrol challenge happening at the regular time
and
slot.
That's the one where they have there's points, right?
Yes.
This one you need to show up with a fully fledged team, and you're going to be going and being put into like platoon groups. But it's essentially going to be like, from what it sort of is described, is like the Spartan games of Milsim.
Yep.
Where
a lot of
capture.
Yeah, it sounds like a lot of the I guess military vet guys or whatever it is, or other people who are a little more
enthusiasts,
fit, wanted to
Mac,
extend
you
the challenge
gotta
a little
get that
bit
team,
more
Mac. Come on.
and play a game for points. So it's going to be interesting. I would really love to see the outcome of that one, just because it's going to be intense, especially with the AO that they chose. So classic.
Yeah,
that is a very intense AO, by the way.
Yeah, potholes everywhere.
The next like mainline Milsim event there is going to be in the spring.
Probably for that specific event will happen probably springtime around April.
Cool.
More than likely. If you're part of the MSW Discord group, they do once in a while give you a little flash ahead of time, well in advance, for people who are like part of that closed circle group, so that you have an idea for the next year what to plan, kind of thing. And then they'll actually do the full announcements on Facebook.
Cool. Yeah.
All right, Tony, sorry, go ahead.
But also really good father and son bonding time I found out with this event.
Nice, good.
Like with this event, I got actually pretty close with my dad, because I don't normally see him on
that's good.
Like
that's good.
A weekly. I normally get to play with him only on the weekends when he's off from work.
Okay.
So he's normally pretty busy on like the weekdays.
And will you attend another one?
Yeah, like certainly. Like Milsims, like from Milsims, I've actually started to change out my loadouts. Like I figured out I don't need that much gear to run for the Milsim. I just keep it light.
Okay.
Exactly. Play carriers are a trap.
All right.
Like, all I need will be like go light, like go minimal at that point. Like I figured out the amount of shooting that I do at Milsim is compared to like a normal skirmish game, I don't shoot that much. I'm not, because I'm also controlling my ammo capacity and I'm also controlling my reload speed at the same time. So
Okay.
I figured out I'm not shooting that much, so
All
I
right.
don't need that much gear.
That's
on me.
good. All right, so we'll move on to Rainbow here. I know you're getting sleepy. I know you wake up early. So for you, love it, hate it. Will you ever go again? I mean, I'm sure you will.
Yeah, I am 100% going to go there again with a lot more trickery up my sleeve next time. 'Cause
We want that sneaky stuff. Okay, what I want to know is how many melee kills did you get for your like your milsim count?
You want the total for milsim melee counts or total for Crossfire?
Ooh, there's
God damn.
damn. All right, let's hear both. Let's hear both.
Well, I've been to multiple sims before.
Yep.
So okay, so multi sim through my whole entire melee count is sitting at only 15.
Wow.
15 melee kills in all my sims. Crossfire, I technically only had 2. The guy that snuck up on, or the guy that sat next to me, and then my duel.
Okay.
But yeah,
I'm most people.
Yeah, I was
true.
gonna say, like,
That's true.
That's like a dream for most people, man.
Remember, there's different rankings for each, right? Milsim and skirmish, right? So milsim is like much better.
Much better. Yeah, I got quite a ways to go if I want to catch that one.
Much more brownie points.
Yeah.
Yeah, but 100% I will be attending the next one. Hopefully, there's a lot more. Not saying that I wasn't bored, but I was also. I want more objectives, just like Crossfire 1.
Yep.
They had flagpoles all over the place. I love that.
So there weren't any flagpoles. No.
There were that they weren't in game.
Were there? I don't know if you guys got it, but last time with Crossfire they had the not the QR code, but the little photos that you have to take with the numbers.
Yes. The number polls. No, they didn't do that this time, and I wish that they bring it back next time, because that gives incentive, and that also gives a good what's it called? Like a good realization on where everybody is, how everyone's playing, and where everyone's kind of positioned. Like
I found
this side's red, this side's blue.
Sorry to interject. I found that with stuff like that though, people would focus on that, and then there'd be a lot of people who would think, well, like, oh, who won, right? Like, who captured the most stuff.
Yeah.
Which I find kind of pulls away from what they were trying to go for with a little more role play. And a little more guided direction with this one. I think there's an advantage to both, but that's just my opinion. I know some people definitely really like. Obviously, you really like that, right? So it's like,
I agree with that.
So I think it just depends. So.
Okay.
Yeah. But I'm 100% attending the next one. I'd like to see some more objective based things.
More missions from higher
mission
command.
Wise, yeah.
Got it.
And yeah, I feel like that they did an amazing job actually running the event. Like the admins themselves, they were very they did a phenomenal job of putting this together, especially for it being my third milsim. It's just they're having a good. You could tell that they had fun making it.
Oh yeah.
Yes, absolutely.
You can tell they had fun participating in it. That seeing everybody together like that, especially after the 2 years that it was canceled.
Oh, tell me about it.
Yeah, so I have a feeling the next one is going to be
pretty soon.
It's going to be
not 2 years,
just as or even better.
Excellent.
I'm extremely excited.
Okay. Thank you very much, Rainbow. We'll move up to Steven. I know you're what 9 o'clock there.
For the first one, it was miserable and it was boring, but I must have liked it enough that I went to the second one.
Exactly.
Now the second one, I'll give it about an 8 out of 10. I think they did a really good job. I would like to have seen it a little less skirmishy and a little more milsimy. So I agree 100% with Rainbow about objectives, and I agree with Jeff that they need to be relatable to the whole role play end of things.
They need to be
so I'm thinking of some sort of mission objectives where you possibly send people out to use the rest of the field. And if they add that, I think I would make it more complete.
What about just them getting, instead of that 108, they get something bigger, and then it's a much bigger playing field? Would that
I
be?
think it would benefit from being a square instead of a rectangle a lot.
Yeah.
Like
108 mile is wonderful, except it's got a really bad spot in the center
Yeah.
where everything bogs down because it's a pinch point.
So it's like a
Even
it's
without
like a
UN,
bottleneck.
it's a pinch point.
It's a bottleneck area that focuses on the fight.
So it doesn't allow for as much movement as you could
So
possibly
what
have.
I'm hearing is a lot more freedom of movement, a lot more choice in terms of leading, right? Instead of sending you, just go to the city, right? A lot more side missions where it'll be like, oh yeah, no, there's like a patrol here that's over here, send some men over there, but you still got to protect your assets here because there's another enemy
It's
patrol
sort of like
there.
ground-based version of a helicopter mission.
A ground-based helicopter mission. Okay.
Yeah. Escort a VIP or assassinate someone or pick up some items or something.
Okay.
Yeah.
So thank you very much, Stephen. And Henry, love it, hate it, and will you attend again?
Yeah, definitely love it. It was great. I don't think anybody mentioned about the explosions. That was
Yeah.
Well, I mean, the admins already told us in full picture what it was,
Yeah.
and that's why I didn't ask. But yeah, go ahead if you want to mention it.
Oh, sorry. Not explosions.
Pyrotechnics.
Lots of orange things that went up.
Lots of orange things.
Orange things.
Orange things.
Yeah. Well, I'll just stop and dig in a hole here. But no, it was great. Definitely my first experience and fairly new to the sport. So it was just kind of like right off to the deep end. But lots of cooperation, a lot of communication. I loved it. I would do it again. But yeah, bigger AO and more payments for the PMC. That's about it.
More payments. Now, for future reference, what kind of payments are we expecting to give, like the UN or whoever's in the middle dealing with the peacekeeping stuff?
I mean,
Crucifixions.
Some jazz cabbage.
I
mean, chocolate, jelly beans, anything edible, because we were standing guard for quite some time.
So you were snackish, gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll bring you a crate of carrots next time.
I did actually have a can of Sprats on me, but I didn't. I wasn't willing to give it out.
Boy, you hear this? Food is key.
Food is
That's all.
Food is
That
key.
is all I'm
Here,
saying,
yeah.
ladies and gentlemen. That is all I am
What
saying.
did I say, boy? What did I say?
Yep.
Oh my gosh. All right. Well, you know what we're doing for the next Milsim? We're going to bring a lot of food. That's a hint to Op Shanty, by the way, guys. All right. Well, thank you very much, guys. This concludes our Crossfire Players After Action Report. I hope you guys enjoyed listening to our beautiful players out here. If you want to jump into a second segment of this, I don't know if we'll do a second segment, but we would love to hear from Blue, because there's plenty of red here with all of their propaganda. You know,
you guys lacking. We
Guys,
need to
come
hear
on, Blue.
more
Come
of
on,
the
Boo.
story here.
We want to hear what happened at the very beginning. We want to hear what happened to David Blair when he went to prison. Other than that, that is it for this segment. I will give it off to Tack, who will close it off for us. Go ahead, Tack.
Oh, well, hey guys, it's me, Tack, closing it off. Episode 92 of the Panther Airsoft Folding Tabletop. The After Action Report, Crossfire 2. Thank you for sticking around and listening to us. Don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button and slap that notification bell so you know when Poi puts this up on the internet. With that said, guys, love, peace, and chicken grease. We'll catch you on the next one.
Jeff, you said you wanted to say one last word. Go ahead.
I know. Sorry, after the actual outro there. So everything that I was told, all the stories that I told tonight, I did film all of it, and I'm currently compiling all of the footage. So my point of view will be displayed. It's going to probably be like an hour and a half long. Of like,
sweet.
Hell
Send us the video. Send us the video. I want to see the recorded core crimes so that we could try you for the next game.
Crucifixion.
Yeah,
All
that'll
right.
be
Alrighty.
posted on my YouTube channel. So thank you.
Okay,
Lots of
guys,
stuff.
and with that, we'll have the links down in the description below. We'll see you on the next one. Catch you later.
Say goodbye, guys.
Yeah.
Adios.